niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Y'all's the hater, and all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it.
What up, we back. Realest podcast ever. It's your boy C. Diddy.
Matt makes me sick.
Got a special guest in the building today. She's very famous, very popular. She's also a good friend of mine, man. She's a poet, entrepreneur, 4-time published author, self-love expert. Her podcast, Self-Care and Chill with Maui, is one of Apple's top-rated and most reviewed relationship podcasts. She's fresh off a sold-out show at World Cafe Live and here to spread some love. TRPE Nation, give it up for my friend, Maui W.
Can I ask, what does the W stand for?
Writer.
Okay.
Just writer.
Just writer.
So people don't gonna say Maui the Writer.
Oh, I mean, I didn't know if it was Windbush. Or, you know, never know out here. Like, yeah.
So, yep.
That's
Am I
hilarious.
supposed to be looking at the camera?
Do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Just make sure you're talking to the mic.
Okay. All right.
You a podcaster. What are you doing?
Yeah, like,
I ain't know how y'all ain't prepped me or nothing. Like y'all just turned it on.
You don't need to be prepped. You a
right.
natural.
yeah, like true story. People always be like, "Yo, so how we gonna? We just gonna turn it on."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like I ain't know if we was gonna do like a 2-minute. Like, all right, this how it go.
There's no.
Nah, ain't no this how it go.
All right.
Sometimes
They
we
just
get it
turned it
right.
up.
Sometimes we mess up.
Right, they
Sometimes we
just
figure it out later.
We kind of run a Doug Collins offense. You know what that means?
No, I don't.
Well, Doug Collins used to get the clipboard and be like, give the ball to
Michael
Jordan. And get the fuck out of the way. That's what he used to write on the clipboard. Like, that's kind of the way we do it.
Okay, I'm not mad at it. All
Yeah,
right.
you know what I mean?
So, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, finally. We talked about doing this for a little while now, but I think now is actually perfect timing because of everything that you got going on, everything that we got
Right.
going on. And you're a big star. And I'm sure a huge number of people in our audience know who you are. But for those that don't, give them a brief overview of who Maui W is and some of the work that you've done.
Okay, so like you did a good intro for me though already, but I'm a 4-time relationship author. I got my own podcast called Self-Care and Chill with Maui. Everything on the podcast is like relationships, self-love, healing, mental health. Like that's what I care about. That's what I'm passionate about. I do poetry. I'm about to go on my 4th poetry tour. I curate my own shows. I set up all of them. I find the poets. I find the hosts. Like it's a vibe and it's like a whole healing experience that I try to create for people. And I'm a mom and I'm a dog mom.
Oh, man.
those my
Double mom.
I have a Bichon and a poodle mix.
Okay.
So it's like a mini doodle. So
I'm a dog dad, so, you know.
what kind of dog you got?
Rat terrier mixed with a Jack Russell.
Is it ugly? It sound ugly.
No, she's unique.
Okay. I've never heard that mix.
I'm unique. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mama say I'm handsome. Like, you know what I'm
I've
saying?
never heard that mix. Okay.
But it's like, you ever watch Problem Child?
No.
Oh, Lord. Where are you from? Where the fuck?
She's younger than us, too.
Yeah, have you seen a Jack Russell Terrier? I can show it to you what it looks like.
Okay.
How about that? But it's the dog from Problem Child.
When did Problem Child come out?
80s.
Okay. I wasn't born.
Okay.
So there we have that.
Have you ever like seen anything like Roots or anything like that? Because that also came out before you were born. But like that.
Oh, okay. It's not a bad looking
Yeah,
dog.
it's a little Chad
Okay.
knows her well. She
Okay.
literally goes berserk when Chad walks in the house. But yeah, she's a lot of energy. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
It looks like a Labrador.
very small version.
But you could have said that.
Mini lab.
It's not a lab though. It's a Jack Russell mixed with a rat.
But you could have just said, like, it kind of look like a Labrador.
She identifies as a Jack Russell mixed with a rat terrier. So I don't get on people identify as that's what I call them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm a dog dad. Being a dog mom, that's work.
Right, it is.
People don't understand that shit is like work. It's hard as hell to have a dog, man.
Dogs are needy, like children.
Yeah,
super needy. I was talking to a friend recently about getting a dog, and they was like, "Don't do it.
Listen.
They're super needy." They was like, especially you know, I'm like a trendy nigga. Let me get a French bulldog. They like, absolutely not. Like, you got too much going on. That's a super needy
they have,
dog.
Like, a lot of health issues.
Exactly, they die like fast.
They be breathing heavy. Like, and
They be,
like, I'm all for the vibes and the aesthetics and stuff. Like, 'cause I would get a French bulldog for the aesthetics of like my life.
Yeah.
But like, they be breathing heavy, walking slow. Like, it's just no.
Yeah, they're super needy dogs. Like, yo, where you going? Like,
Right.
I'm just using the bathroom. Why are you doing that?
You
like,
see how my dog,
yeah.
like literally, you do anything, she's going fucking crazy. It was funny because my homie was there and she like was jumping on him, and he was like, "Yo, can't you tell her this?" And like, "Ain't you her master?" And I'm like, "Whoa, master's out, nigga." Master is out. Like, you tripping. You know them shout out Jews. He would be dying with that. I'm just like, yeah, no, we call them dog parents now. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not nobody's master.
Yeah, no, master is out, baby. We got rid of that. You know what I mean? You said you were, how old are you?
I'm about to be 30.
Oh, yeah.
My
Shit.
birthday is April 9th.
Okay, so you a Aries.
Yes.
Oh, like me.
Oh, I was right.
The best sign.
Yeah.
I just
We
be guessing this shit.
insane also, but that's a whole nother thing.
Insane. When your birthday?
March 29th.
Okay. My daughter, she March 23rd. She Aries like her mama.
Oh yeah, she right at the beginning of Aries, right?
Can I ask you a question? Because you
The day before is Pisces.
Yeah.
I was sitting there like, I don't want a Pisces. I want an Aries like me. Like,
because you're a writer, and do you believe in all of that type stuff? The signs and the
Astrology and everything.
yeah, I'm not even going to come on here in front. I feel like it's very broad with certain things. Like, I don't read horoscopes. I feel like that's too broad.
Okay.
But certain characteristics and qualities, I feel like it's because you were born at a certain time and the stars aligned that way, and that's why you act like that.
Interesting. So do you know all of the things?
I don't know all of the. I know the things for the signs that I'm interested about.
Okay.
I'm an Aries, so of course I'm gonna know about myself.
Okay. Do you know anything about Libras?
Like, I got a couple of friends that are Libras. I feel like Libras are super kind of just chill, neutral people. Don't want to be in no problem. Stay to myself. Go get my money. Come in the house. But that's a lot of Libras. It's a lot of people that probably agree, and they might not be a Libra. But I feel like the Libras that I know in my personal life, they just be chilling and they stay out the way and they don't want to do too much.
You hit it dead. You got it. you got it. Can't argue with that. Yeah. That if you've been like Libras turn up every night, be like, all right, something wrong over there. Like, yeah, no.
You're gonna have to drag the Libra out the house to have some fun. Like,
See what I'm saying?
but I'm gonna drag the Libra out the house because I'm gonna turn it up.
Man almost got dragged out last night.
You almost got dragged out last
Right.
That's hilarious.
The niggas that was dragging him out was unsuccessful on their mission, and he stayed home.
And had the time of his life in the house.
Yeah, no. That's because you didn't go, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Like, had you been like, yeah, come on, we out, I'd have been like, all right, cool. But once you was like, I can't, I'm just like, yeah, if he can, I'm here already.
I live here.
I live here. This is
Everything I need is in the house. Like,
Yeah. No, that's hilarious, though.
So through your poetry, your podcast, and pretty much everything you do, like you said, it's about love, self-love, relationships, dating, self-care, mental health, wellness, and stuff like that. What made you interested in that as a genre? It made you say, I'm going to go forward into this of something that's basically espousing how much you care about people.
right? So I feel like when I was growing up, and I tell people this all the time, when my mom, like as punishment, my mom loved to read books, right? But she read like hood books. For punishment, for me, she giving me self-help books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is pretty interesting. It's because I'm getting used to it. I'm always in trouble. So I'm in the house reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So after like going through high school and stuff and giving my friends advice from books that I read, and everybody like, bitch, shut the fuck up and go write a book. I'm like, that isn't a half bad idea.
Yeah.
And I love giving people advice. Like, I love like helping people work on themselves, and I love holding myself accountable. And I feel like once I realized that I practice what I preach, like, and I'm qualified to give people advice because I'm not out. Ain't nobody about to tell you something different from how I carry myself or how I feel about myself unless I was in high school and I was just out here lost. But it make me feel good when people say, like, you know what, I decided to leave this alone, or I decided to start choosing myself or focusing on me and my kids. I want women to love themselves. That's it. I don't want nobody to be the other way. Because it's the other way that they could be. Be the good way.
Got it. So with that in mind, when you look at, like, you know, hearing you talk, you sound like an older woman in terms of like your maturity. No, I'm going somewhere with this. In terms of your
Walk with me now.
your maturity, your life ethics, being a leader, being a counselor, and stuff like that.
Right.
When you look at like your contemporary audience of like the women that you're talking to, do you see a lot of that? That, you know, do they have a lot of qualified, positive leaders and role models to bring forth that love that they all need to have?
So I feel like my audience is like so broad because there's some women who might be older women and they'll be like, damn, I wish I knew this when I was in my 20s.
Got you.
And then I got college girls that's like, girl, like I only had one boyfriend, but you saving me so much time from making bad decisions. And then there's girls that's my age that is like, I just got out of a relationship with my son's dad or something like that, and you helping me get through it. I feel like it's so broad, but we all got the same goal. I feel like even the people out here that they might just be lost or they ain't have no guidance and stuff like that, I feel like I want to be what I needed when I was out here doing what I wanted to do. When I was having a bunch of boyfriends and stuff like that, running the streets, being in college, being a player, like really being out here. Like if I had like a big sister or like my mom was able to put me on game and stuff like that, like my mom ain't got no game. Like my mom just calling me for advice now.
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like. I feel like everybody is just getting what they need from the situation. Like, and I feel like that is what makes people from different age groups be able to resonate in it wherever they at in their life.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How did you become so self-aware and so skilled in the art of conversation and counseling to where you can be somebody that's not even 30 and be very wise beyond your years?
Right. And I feel like the main thing was me holding myself accountable, and I feel like that's the hardest thing for people.
Super hard.
Like, it's so hard for me to be like, you know what, I'm fucking with this guy. He treat me a certain way, but it's because I chose to continue to fuck with him. Like I chose to be here. I chose to talk to somebody I knew was a cheater or run the streets and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here crying because I want to change a person that was who they was when I met them. Like, if I want to live a different life, because I feel like a lot of women, we don't really think about the fact that our biological clocks are ticking. Like, you see what I'm saying? At a certain age, it's
talking now.
It's going to be hard for us. Listen.
It's the shit we can't say.
Yeah.
Right. Like, being a bad bitch, running the street, popping bottles, all of that is cute and stuff like that, but I'm a wife.
Yeah.
Like, and I know I don't want to try to decide that I want to be a wife when I'm ran through at 38 years old and nobody want me. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because it's going to be harder for me to have children. It's going to be harder for me in my dating pool. A man could be 50 and he could find him a baddie that's 30.
Look.
What?
Dan's almost 50. He don't look. He almost 50.
He could be 50. He could
Damn,
still.
like I just clean up. Get some work.
Me on
Get some
the other hand, me on the other hand, my 40 is gonna be different because life has also left an impression on me. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have friends that are older guys, and they always talk about like, yeah, but the girls my age, life done wore them down. They try and get married next week, and like,
yeah.
And I get
they
it.
show up to the first date with a wedding dress on.
And I get it, and I understand. So I had to start holding myself accountable. That's it. Like, holding myself accountable, and I ain't want to go down that road.
You talk like you saw some shit.
I saw some. Listen,
You know that what's the guy who just passed away? The guy.
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels. You know how you just randomly see his clip surfacing or whatever. There was a clip I never seen it. It came on the other day. The girl was like, she was 40. I think she was 41 with 2 kids. And she worked like a regular 9 to 5. She's like, what I got to do to get a high value man? And he was like, you 40, 2 kids, and you don't earn over 6 figures?
Right.
Ma'am, you got to get reincarnated. I'm like,
no, that's out of pocket. That's out of pocket.
I was like, what?
So I do, when I give advice, though, I feel like I already tuned into Kevin. Kevin's delivery was just harsh.
His delivery
Like,
was
brutal.
incredible. Like,
honesty with no compassion is cruelty. Like, you
Right.
see what I'm saying? You're being cruel. Like, to tell me I need to be reincarnated is out of pocket.
hey, listen, you asked what I got to do.
His favorite thing was, you called my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You called me.
You called me.
But
You
I
wanted my advice.
think that the reason I brought that up was going into what you were saying, where it's like the accountability, where you got to really think
Right.
about what you're doing. You got to think about what you're putting out. You got to think about what you bring to the table. And I
Right.
think you, at times when you young, you really, like, we had the conversation the other day. You know, the whole thing, I ain't think I was going to make it to 25.
Right.
Motherfuckers say that.
Right.
I didn't think I was going to make it to 30. So 35, 40, 45, 50, that's unrealistic to a lot of people. When if you're trying to live a real live life with somebody, you got to sit down at a young age and really think about, yo, is this going to yield the right dividend? Is this going to make sense in 20 years?
Right.
A tattoo on the forehead is cool now, I guess, maybe while you in this video.
Right.
But at 49, you the tattooed 49.
You're 49 when you got all this on your face. And I feel like a lot of people is not thinking about the long-term stuff.
I think it works on both sides, too, men and women.
Both of us.
For sure.
Both of us. I feel like people are not thinking about where they want to be. I don't think that people are really thinking that far into their future, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, they're not thinking that far to think like, you know what, well, I want to be married one day, or I want to have children. I'm going to get a tattoo. Even like as far as us, and like, I don't know if I would want freaking huge breast implants at 50 years old, being somebody's grandma. Like, but that's some stuff that I think about. Just thinking about like who I want to be as a grandma. Like, I'm not really sure if I want to keep getting my titties redone every 10 years. At 60, I might just want to let them sag. I don't think that people are thinking that far. And I feel like I'm thinking that far because just I know what I want for myself, especially like being in an environment that I grew up in, like with my mom, she's not married, and my grandma, she's not married. And I feel like black women, not to shade any black women, because I know my mom, she did the best that she could do, but they teach us so much of how to be strong, independent women and not how to be receptive to good men who come into our life to love us. So it's easy to just fuck with a guy and get some money out of him and stuff like that. Cause like this, we growing up being raised by single moms. But like, what if I meet a good guy and like,
I want to hold on to him.
I want to hold on. I want to treat him. I want to treat him a certain way. I want to be receptive. And like you said too, like also I start thinking about like, what do I bring to the table? And before I was bringing just, I'm cute and we had fun. I wasn't really bringing nothing.
Yeah, I'm at the table, nigga.
Turn up. Like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's fun until he meet another girl that's fun. Like, you see what I'm saying?
That's funner.
That's funner. Or nastier. Or like, I done capped out on the nasty, so I don't got nothing else to offer. Like you said, like, so what do I bring to the table? And because you brought up Kevin and him always talking about like high value men and stuff like that, when I feel like I start carrying myself like I'm the high value woman, and like why would I want to be in a relationship with you, or what would you bring to my life?
Exactly.
I feel like that's when the dynamics in my life changed, of the quality of people that I was attracting and the men that wanted to be in relationships with.
Right. Because you weren't, you were living in your truth and you had already done the work on yourself, so you're not posing. So if you're challenged on what you're saying or how you're living, you can easily defend it, or you could present like, what?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
like,
nothing to talk about because I'm living proof.
Right.
Whereas a lot of people are putting up a facade and creating an image for who they want to be, but they're not really living like that.
Was I supposed to wear my hat?
You didn't have to,
okay,
no.
I just realized you had it on. I would have put it on. I wasn't even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but a lot of people are like, you know, are faking it till they make it. Like they're putting on the image of the person that they want to be, but they're not actually doing the work or holding themselves accountable to get to the end result of actually being that person.
And I feel like that's the thing that was different with me, is like even starting out on social media and like sharing my poems with people and my advice. Like I told them I made bad decisions. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like I fucked with people. I ain't had no business. If people want to say, Maui talked to this person I know, she probably telling the truth, and I done seen that, and I'm cool off that, and I don't need to be over there. Like, I feel like a lot of the times now, people are just, how can I put this? People are fucking with people that they ain't got no, like, I don't need to be in that area. Like, if you like to turn up and you like bad bitches and stuff like that, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I need to be with the man that like to go to therapy, and he like to be in the house. People are in areas that they don't belong with. They getting scarred.
Yeah.
They coming out scarred.
And then they bringing the scars
to
everybody else.
That's the craziest part about our culture.
Be with somebody your speed.
You got people out here getting scars that they don't even need.
Right.
That's the crazy, like the whole Josh shit. Like y'all are getting these things put on you that you really just don't need. From you just not being able to just sit down. It's because everybody wants to have a certain look and stuff. We can get to that later. That's another road we can go down. But no, I totally agree with you on that one. I watch a lot of things go on that don't need to happen.
Right.
And it's like, for what? All for the sake of, I want to be lit. I want to be in the mix. I want to be seen. I want to be viral.
Right.
It's we gonna get to the dating pool.
That was my theme the other day, with the dating pool having pee in it.
I was gonna ask you since you brought it up. Okay, fine. The dating pool has pee in it. That's a constant theme, right?
Right.
Who peed in the pool?
They are peeing it because it's just pissing. I feel like everybody is scarred. Nobody want to be embarrassed. Nobody want to be made of a fool. Nobody want to look stupid. They all pissing in it. They all playing with each other. Everybody's fucking each other. It's a big old pool of that's an orgy. Nobody want to be committed. Nobody want relationships, and they do desire this. Like, but people.
The crazy part is when you not in the pool, you be like, I'm about to cannonball in that motherfucker. But then you hear these stories and you just like, yeah, I'm glad I'm away from all of the like.
I'm just standing. I'm a lifeguard looking at come on, give me a hand. I'm
blowing the whistle and shit out. Like, yeah, no,
I'm
that's
just over here being a lifeguard.
yeah, no, that's real. Do you feel like social media is the #1 problem? Because I think it is.
So social media is a big problem, and I feel like it's a big problem as far as like people carrying other people like they easily replaceable because it's temptation on your timeline.
Hello.
Constantly comparing what you have to what's on social media. Like if we in a relationship and you get on my goddamn nerves and I see this guy on my timeline, I'm seeing the best parts of these people. Mm-hmm. And I'm comparing it to the worst parts of you. He get on my fucking nerves, or he ain't got no money right now, and I'm comparing him to the guy that's on Instagram with a Benz,
with 19
and a
Cubans,
watch,
yeah.
right? And I could live a better life with him because I'm looking at the best parts of this man and comparing it to the worst parts of my partner, and it's not fair. It's like not even a fair playing field for one. You got the temptation of freaking, y'all got ass on your timeline all day. Just ass everywhere. Like everybody.
Yeah, unlimited ass.
Unlimited.
At this point, they're pushing ass to me. I didn't ask to see.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask to see it. I see it all day. So if I see it all day, and I know on Instagram, once you like something, they show you more.
Yeah, they show you unlimited. You want like one ass, unlimited ass.
I question often, where did all these light-skinned titties come from? And it just be like, I must have liked too much
You must have liked
light-skinned
them.
titties in one little short span, and that's definitely what they throw at you.
Right. So even with that, like, you might have a girl laying next to you that love you and she care about you, and this is a good person. But you got ass and titties that's on your timeline. Now ass and titties then like a couple of your pics.
Yeah.
So ass and titties is on your radar.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting on your goddamn nerves because you know ass and titties been paying attention to you for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And we don't carry ourselves, like even though like you might not need your partner, I value your presence. I appreciate you being here. Like you could probably go get loved better by somebody else, hypothetically.
Yeah.
But you
It's a shot. It's
right.
7 billion people.
Like it's a lot of
It's
people.
a chance.
That's why I never say to nobody, you're never gonna find nobody like me. You a good nigga. You might. Like you might. But you prefer to be loved by me.
Man, and I gotta get on plenty of fish. Tons of love out
Called the
here.
Morristown, New Jersey.
go to Hinge, go on Bumble.
I can take my radius 50 miles.
Right. Right. But carrying a person like you, at least appreciate them at the least.
Right.
And not like I'm okay whether you stay or you go.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember having a conversation with my homie. He was like, yo, his grandparents were celebrating like their 50th anniversary or whatever. He was just like, yo, it seemed like that's not even possible now. Like people be in relationships 1 year, done the next year, and I'm like, I mean, you have too much access.
Right.
You got a phone with social. The world is in your hands. Mm-hmm. Your grandparents only knew 9 people and was only allowed to go to the library and church. So there was realistically no, like, where are you going?
Right.
You know what I mean? Go further back to like slavery. There was just nowhere for you. You imagine you like get you and your wife freedom, and then she like, yo, I'm not feeling this. I want to see other people. It's
Right.
Like,
Right.
what free niggas do you even know? You know, like there was nowhere to
What
go.
free niggas you
What
know?
free niggas you know that I don't know? Like,
Right.
where are you even going? And that's the thing now. You can be in Brazil tomorrow.
Right.
I can be in Indonesia in 3 days. Like that just wasn't a reality for people back in the day. So when you and think about how crazy this is. Your grandfather and your great grandfather, he fuck around had 2-3 wives that knew each other, and nobody was tripping because hey, this is my life over here. We got some chicken chops.
Right.
Life is good.
Right.
And now you can literally put a chick in the house, buy a car. You can do all these things, and if some shit go super left in that weekend, y'all might be finished.
Right.
Because everybody's disposable to everybody. And I think that because of the social media shit, and this is me on the lifeguard, up on the big seat, just looking at it where it's like everybody is disposable and replaceable to everybody.
Right. So the effort and desire to fight for something,
It's
it
not
seems
there.
very strenuous.
What am I fighting for?
It seems like too much work when I know that I can replace you so easily. So now y'all have a kid, and you like, damn, they broke up and the baby was 2 months. They ain't even give it a real shot.
Yeah.
Or,
Yo, it's way too many baby showers with no dad
listen,
present.
Blue button. I was about to go there.
it's
I
way
was
too
like,
long.
yo, I've seen people in a relationship, they announce they having a baby, and then the dad not even at the shower because
Right.
they done fell out.
right.
and it's just like, huh?
And I think
I can't come to one wife draw.
And it is hard having a baby, right? Like being a new mom, like I know that it's hard having a baby. Like me and my man would be arguing and stuff like that. But I feel like when you in relationships and somebody don't know how to properly communicate exactly what they feeling, and you with a person that don't know how to properly communicate, like in times where as though like I would be pregnant and overwhelmed and we would be arguing, like I would say, like, I know we haven't been prioritizing ourselves. Like we're overwhelmed, we're sleep deprived, we don't go out on dates no more. Like you see what I'm saying? This baby is crying. Like I know that we're not really mad at each other. We're mad at the mess that we're in.
All
right
these
now.
circumstances
All these
around.
circumstances.
You have one kid, or
I got 2 kids.
Okay.
My son, he's 9. So I know that we mad at the circumstances.
Do you like them?
Do I like who?
The kids.
Yeah, I like I like my kids.
Okay. Because
that was a real question.
I know. I watched this thing where it was saying how, as a parent, it's easy to love your kids, but you can forget that you like gotta try to like them too, because they get in the way of what your life was and the adjustments. Most people, that's what fucks people up, is they're not ready for the adjustment.
Right.
Where it's like it's not all about you anymore. That's why you get so many situations where it's so scrambled, because people are still living their lives like they're the number one.
Right. As far as the aspect, I like my kids. But my son coming in the house and asking me why I got a wig on today, like, he could go back to his dad's house.
Fuck out of here, young boy.
He was like, you got a wig on again? Like, those kind of things is like, come on.
I remember my old dispatcher, she used to wear these wigs that was just like, they weren't great. You know what I'm saying? And I remember me and her got into it one day, and I to this day, I was so mad. I was going off about her. She removed me from the overtime list. And I was going off. And I was going off, and at the end of my rant, I was like, and just so you know, with your wig, the tag's supposed to go in the back. She cursed me.
Like, if I'm picking my son up from school,
The tag's supposed to go in the back.
and my son, I'll get in the carpool line and pick my son up from school. He'll like twirl my hair like, what's this today? And it's like, leave me alone. Like, I'm over here minding my business, just trying to raise you.
Right.
And I'm just being picked on.
Catching strays.
I'm just catching strays for no reason. Like, so yeah, I definitely feel like a part of that is just people not able to properly communicate what they feeling too. So,
all right, last question on this specific topic. How do you find a way to communicate with your partner?
So I feel like this is so important for women and for men, right? You got, especially for black men, I'm gonna start over there. Black men need to have spaces where they feel emotionally safe to be vulnerable and communicate how they feel outside of being upset or angry.
Like,
okay?
I say this all the time. What happens with men I've spoke with and just things I've seen in life, when a man reaches a place of finally being emotionally comfortable and feel like he is in a safe space to talk, he'll say something, and then the next argument, that get thrown back in his face.
Right.
It ain't happened to me.
Right.
You know, I go upside your head. I'm old school. But this is a real live issue where a man will finally open up and feel like, yo, I'm comfortable with you. I can express some certain things. Then the next problem, that's thrown back. So now that scar, going forward, never again.
He's never going to open back up.
And this happened when he was 16.
Right.
He's 48. So it's like,
I feel like men be like, yeah, I got my heart broken in 8th grade.
Yeah, so y'all talking about me.
Men be like, I got my heart broken in 8th grade.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with you. So I definitely feel like when you create any safe space for your man, not weaponizing the things that he has said to you, not making facial expressions and sucking your teeth, dismissing him, not turning it into a tit-for-tat conversation. You're my teammate. It's not a competition on who hurt who more or what you did last week to get on my nerves. My only job as your woman is to listen so that I can really hear you, because if I can't hear you, then I can't help you.
Right.
And I feel like with our black men, because I date black men, I don't have no experience with any other color, okay? Knowing that your man is a million other things that he's out in his world constantly fighting for, and the internal battles that he don't share with anybody else. He can't really share it with his friends because his friends, they want to help and they're going to say, come over, play the game, or let's go to the titty bar. Yeah. He's not going to say, bro, like, you want to try to call my therapist? He's not going to say stuff like that. He just want to make his homie feel better. So when we create these safe spaces for men, you want your partner to know that when he comes in the house, he does not have to protect himself here. Like, he can be vulnerable to express himself. And the same thing with your woman. You can't create a safe space for me if you be cheating on me or if I'm always catching you on the lie. So I can't even show up to want to be there for you when you are constantly hurting me purposely. Because there's no way that you really love me when you sneaking around, you cheat, you always getting caught cheating, okay? You was a liar. I can't believe shit that come out your mouth. So in order for us to both create these safe spaces, we got to show each other that we really care about. I really care about you, your feelings, whatever you're going through, and I want to help. And I want to show you that how I can help by listening.
No, that's real. I agree with that 100%. I think that's the biggest thing is like finding that communication.
Right.
That's when you realize like, damn, this is actually different than most. Like you say,
right.
It's fun motherfuckers out here, but then it's like, damn, I can like be me here.
Yeah.
This is cool as shit.
Right.
And it's a thing of like balancing like the right amount of fun and the right kind of fun with somebody that's actually good for your life.
Right.
And that's going to give you that safe space to be able to foster your emotions, your creativity,
right.
your feelings. Be honest, be open, not feel like it's going to be thrown back at you.
Yeah, I see people in relationships where it's like they don't talk to the person they're in a relationship.
Right.
They don't know what's going on. Like, yeah, literally, me and my girl, we was doing this thing when we was on the cruise where they had like 50 questions of your partner and shit, and we was the only person in the room that got like, she got 49, I got 48
right.
of the things right.
But
motherfuckers, I 12. Like, this shit crazy.
But like you said, people live in their phones, so they don't even realize, like, even if you might not be physically cheating on your partner, there's no emotional intimacy because you scrolling on your phone all day. That's why you don't know shit about me. Like, because you on Instagram, you on ESPN looking at your FanDuel, you on all these different things, and you ain't paying me no mind.
Me now?
Like that. Strangers is going on over
read
the room.
everybody in the room.
You're on your fucking FanDuel.
She said she was an expert.
She's on his FanDuel, losing.
She didn't get to me yet. I'm
Losing
waiting
for the
though.
fifth
Yeah,
time.
she mentioned you at the mall.
Like that.
That's funny as shit.
This shit is rough. Let me ask you this. I'd rather be hard to deal with than easy to get over on a trauma response.
Okay, I'd rather be hard to deal with than easier to get over on.
Yeah.
I definitely could see the trauma response in this, but when it comes to me and my business, like the way I carry myself in business, like you can't get over on me because I don't carry myself like that and I don't play like that. When
That's
it
a
comes to
fact.
business. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm not going to feel bad if I got played with in a relationship because I decided to show up and just be vulnerable and soft. That's where I like to be feminine. I like to be soft. Like, I don't want to be walking around here on survival. So you might get over him. There's a bunch of guys that got over me in relationships, and I don't regret it, and it's cool, and it speaks more about your character than mine.
Right.
But I wasn't going to be showing up, who the fuck you texting or pulling up to jobs and stuff like that, because that's not who I want to be. Like,
You ain't busting no windows out in your day?
I ain't never do nothing. Listen, no.
You a unicorn.
I ain't bust no windows. I never cut a shoestring. I've never did anything.
Pour bleach on all his Levi's.
Listen, I've never done anything to activate a reflex.
We was having a conversation the other day. I'm like, there are relationships out here where like this is like custom, like this is customary. This is like normal.
Yeah, no, this is Tuesday.
Yeah, it's just
getting them
just hanging out.
They do this all the time.
And I'll be like, yo, we have never. I've never called her out her name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You hear this good black man?
No, I'm serious. Like we've had disagreements and we've had arguments, we've had fights, but I've never called her a bitch or said
Right.
you fucking never. Like
Right.
we've never even gotten to that point ever. Never had no violence. And I me personally don't be understanding how that be like normality.
Right. But I feel like you may be able to deal with your emotions better because a lot of men who the only emotion that they're in tune with is anger. And when I'm angry, you are a bitch or you are dumb and I'm mad, I'm slamming doors, I'm punching walls, I'm just so angry. But I don't know how to sit down and just talk because people are in competition with what you did versus how I'm feeling.
Right.
Like, so it might be easy for you to walk away and just ignore her or calm down and stuff like that because you're probably in tune with other emotions besides being angry. Like, and then it's men who might want to walk away and then you got somebody in your face saying, but you don't want to talk because you don't know how to communicate. So now you are angry and
Yeah, it's just it's nuts when you really think about like that is like people's lives.
right,
Like,
every
you know
single
what I'm
every
saying?
single day.
Like
Yeah.
every day. Yeah,
It's a battle.
Every day.
Every day I got to fight for my love.
Somebody the other day was like, I want that old school love. And then the Jack show was your grandfather when dinner wasn't ready on time. And it was Jeff Jarrett hitting Mae West with a guitar. I was dying. But yeah, it always like kind of blows my mind a little bit because I'd be like, how do it get to that point?
Right.
Like, how do y'all get to that point where y'all are disrespecting each other, calling each other out of names, throwing each other shit out the hallway and
Right.
all that? I personally don't understand it.
Right.
Yeah.
But just like what you said, and what like you said, like as far as like finding that person where you could be yourself, have fun, or like being with your woman and you never called her out your name. I feel like so many people are focused on shallow things and they're not focused on being with a person of good character. Like you have good this person has good character. And I can maneuver from there. Like
what you say with me and Lee, I remember we actually split up. I remember he came to my crib and I told him, he was just like, she's the classiest person I know. Because breakups don't happen like that.
Right.
In real, like seriously, when breakups happen, it's an all out,
It's
war.
war.
Yeah, it's war.
Right.
It becomes war. Yeah. And it's like sometimes people just ain't wired like that.
Right.
They're just not built like that because it's like, no, I'm not saying that I don't want to be with you on some fuck you, I hate you. It's more so, let's take a split to figure each other out to see if we can progress forward or if we just need to, and that's a grown-up way to approach things. And I'll be honest, that situation made me respect her a lot more.
Right.
Because she had I wasn't there. All the sneaks could have been outside. You know what I'm saying? I walked the shit, cleaned the tub and everything. Like, shit was crazy. So it's like, sometimes people just aren't wired like that. And it just shocks me at times that that's normalness for people. It's mind-blowing. So, yeah, I think character issues is huge in that.
She wasn't even thinking of texting nobody else. She wanted to clean.
Well, I ain't going that far. I don't I wasn't there. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. But, But no, I just think that's a real thing where it's like it's bigger than just what do she or he look like.
Right.
What are your character issues? What's your moral compass like? What did you learn from your parents? What Chris Rock in the joint with last night? My parents told me never fight in front of white people. And he slammed the mic down. And it's just like... Sometimes you just learn. I say it all the time. I went to an accredited kindergarten. Right. We learn things, man. Like, it's just what it is. What you got over there?
I like this conversation that we on, but I kind of want to transition a little bit. We can come back to it. It's Women's History Month, and you're a woman making history daily with the people that you impact and impress with all your positive messages and your true testimony. What do you think has been like the best part of this meteoric rise that you've been having the last couple of years?
I feel like the best part outside of like knowing that I'm helping people, and that makes me really feel like I'm living in my purpose. Like, because I'm doing what I love to do, but I would be doing it if I wasn't getting paid because I was doing it already in my phone anyway, right?
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I love to do every day, just getting paid to be myself. Okay. I think that probably my favorite part so far is when I found out I was pregnant. Like I was on a tour and I had my son on the tour. And my son, like, we was going to Disney World. We was in Miami Beach. Like, we in Vegas. We in all these different places together. And it's like, dang, like, you just with your mom all summer. And we just doing whatever we want to do, having the time of our lives. And, like, knowing that, like, I'm creating a completely different life than I experience for my kids every day. And he don't even realize that you can open every box of cereal and not get in trouble. Right. Then I had to wait until Honey Smacks ran out before I opened Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I hated, and I was forced to eat Honey Smacks with tears rolling down my eyes. So I feel like knowing that I made sacrifices to benefit my children and focused on that longevity of like how I want to raise them, knowing that I'm helping people, knowing that freaking I get to wake up doing what I love to do. Like I feel like all of those things are probably collectively my favorite part of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem genuinely happy about it.
Like this is really what I love to do.
When did you start writing poetry?
All right, so when I was like 14, and it's so funny, right? My mom bought me a Headshots DVD, right?
That's what influenced the poetry?
Because I'm so shy and introverted.
Shout out Young Bob.
Yeah, I love Young Bob too. Okay, but seeing people on the DVDs rapping and like they friends hyping them up, I used to always feel like I wish I wasn't so fucking shy and I could do stuff like that. Like, but I knew that I could never because I'm just so to myself.
We didn't have any alleys in Penrose. So I couldn't do it. Yeah.
Like,
In the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, we might maybe do it on the driveway.
I just knew, like, I feel like when she worked at me that DVD, like, it just opened up this whole new world of like, wow, this looks so fun. And then like I started watching like Def Jam poetry. And then I seen 8 Miles, and it was just like all these people just being so confident in what they love to do in front of all these people, and me just like writing stuff on paper and stuff, never sharing it with nobody. So when I got to, I had used to work at the post office in 2017.
Okay.
And I think one of my friends was like going through something, and I wrote her a poem, and she was like, "You should like write poems like for funerals and stuff like that, like maybe like Hallmark cards." Like,
was the friend dying or something?
No, she wasn't dying. I'm just saying she was.
She was like, girl, you got it. You can write stuff for funerals.
She was just like,
cheered me up.
I ain't dying no more.
She was throwing ideas out there. So I started when I was 13, and I started posting on social media in like 2018. So that's a long ass time of like not sharing it with nobody.
But you was perfecting your craft. You probably didn't even realize that that's what you was doing.
Right, because I had so many poems that was already memorized just in my head. Yeah, because just reading them in my house.
Yeah, you were crafting yourself to be a performance artist, and you didn't even know it because you just to yourself and being introverted. It gave you that time alone to practice and be in the mirror and be in the house and going over this and this and this, and then you created a whole data file, like a memory bank of poetry, and then when you started to present it to the world, it was just like a reflex.
Because I would be in the mirror all the time. Yeah. But if my mom came upstairs or somebody, like I would just
you'd lay in the bed. Like the toys on Toy Story.
I was just showing
I'm just not doing nothing. Just not doing anything. Like
hey, I always respected poets. Like I think that's a interesting like craft. You know what I mean? Like, and just to see it now where it's kind of like getting its just due. Right. You know, there was a time period where poetry just was like, if it wasn't Def Poetry Jam, you just didn't see it. So now to see all of these tours and shows and, you know, event spaces and like my homegirl I grew up with, Steph Ock, she actually performed at your show. That's my dog. Yeah. Like, so it's like seeing all of this different poetry and they going to Houston, going here, doing this, going to LA, going to Vegas. It's just like, damn, like poetry really has come like full front. Like it's decent to see. And it's something where like, you know, us as a kid, it's kind of like poetry is like Black history, where it's like, what do you learn about poetry? Maya Angelou. Right. That's all you know. Maya Angelou. You don't understand that it's so many different.
And it's like if you from Philly, Nikki Giovanni.
You see what I'm saying? And you know, now you see all these different things. yeah, exactly. Though that's real.
No bullshit. I performed a Tupac verse as a poem in literature's 9th grade lit class. Nobody knew.
Oh man, I can tell you.
Nobody knew it was a rap.
Just because you mentioned it, when we was in 6th grade, Mondron went to Spruce Hill Christian Academy. So they broke us up into groups, and we had to perform a dance recital, like a dance at the dance recital. Every group had to do one. So you know, it wasn't many blacks. Right. Me, Shamir, Jamil, and Ray Sean, the only blacks. Us four decided to do a dance routine to Coolio, Dangerous Minds. And at the start of it, before the music came on, me, Shamir, and Jamil robbed Ray Sean and killed him in the rap.
And then did an interpretive dance.
White people were saying, we was out our young minds. I can't believe they let us do that shit. Dog, that was some funny ass shit.
What is going on?
What the fuck is going on?
What is happening?
But I always, going back to what I was saying, the poetry and spoken word and because I grew up on Nas.
Okay.
Like Nas is my favorite rapper. So and then, you know, of course, Pac, and then, you know, I'm not really crazy about Kendrick, but I understand it. I can see it. And you realize just how close poetry is to rap. Right. Because that's what it is. It's a form of poetry.
With no beat.
He did real. And just being able to, like I said, watching Def Comedy Jam and seeing all these different things back in the day to where it is now, it's like,
right.
Yeah, that shit is decent to see. Shout out to everybody. It's a lot of poets I like. Santiago, Poet Santiago.
Okay, he performed at the shelter.
Poet Bull. He's real. It's a lot of them.
These are people that performed at my thing. So I just want to say, I select people. So you are naming some of the best poets in Philly.
Like seriously, like
some of the best ones.
I've gotten to a point where doing this. Where you even kind of alluded to it at the beginning. It was like, yo, so y'all just gonna start this?
Right.
That's not something where you can just turn on the mic,
right,
and go.
You gotta prepare.
You really gotta understand stage presence, timing. You know what I mean? It's like doing a comedy routine,
right?
Like you gotta know to when to let the crowd go and let them laugh or let them get all of that going. Like it's a real live craft that I respect.
Right.
So.
Well, we appreciate you.
No, real. I would love to write a poem. I would love one. You know what I mean? But I know I don't have it. Seriously, I don't.
I'm gonna be like FanDuel.
Sixers -5. Failed me again. Dead in the crowd.
There's gonna be a bunch of guys in the crowd that come in.
Real shit.
Points bet. Free deposit.
Right.
Up to 500.
That's hilarious. But no, real. Like I respect poetry a lot. I think just seeing all these different the influx of like, you know, It's too many to name. We've gone to poetry shows. It's a lot, and it's decent to see it. It's like podcasting, where like you see the boom of it and everything. So
and I think that it's so important because the arts eventually will be dying. Like stuff like that, like painters and like poetry. Like eventually everybody's gonna be on Instagram selling a course. Okay, so before we get there,
$39.99. Learn how to write poetry like I used to.
Eventually everybody's just gonna.
I got haikus, sonnets.
Haikus.
So it's so important for me. Like even with my son, like go draw a picture, please, because he thinks that. If I ask him what do he want to be, he's a YouTuber, like a gamer. Please go paint. There's other things like touch paper and a crayon and like.
My homie the other day was complaining. He's like, I went on a date with a chick. She took me to this like paint and sip thing, and you know me, I ain't even artistic. I'm like, yeah, you're closer to autistic than artistic. Like, yeah, that's real.
Such like a good like conversation, like painting and just drinking your wine. Like sometimes I feel like people don't realize that it's not about what we doing.
It's funny because we went to the Poconos, and you know we in the Poconos. I want to snow tube. I want to get drunk. I want to run around. And she was like, I want to go do this painting thing where you like make a plate and a cup thing. And I was just like
pottery?
Yeah. And I was like, this is the corniest shit. This is the shit I be talking about. But then we went, and I got so into it that I was like challenging myself to have the best plate in the like I got super into the shit. Yeah, like it's funny. Like you don't realize how much that type of shit is necessary.
Like something to stimulate you.
Yeah.
And challenge you.
Yeah.
Like an actual activity.
Right.
Yeah. We can do cocaine anytime. Like, this is actually pretty
Like,
dirt.
let me be challenged. Can I really make a good plate?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What was your motivation, considering how amazing you are, in the arts and in the world of poetry? What was your motivation to do a podcast, especially a relationship podcast, considering kind of like how cluttered that, not that that's all you talk about, but how cluttered that general lane is, and how, a lot of people are getting like pigeonholed into, oh, you just another one of them podcasts.
Right. So I always used to be on live on Instagram, and people would enjoy the lives, but I wouldn't save them. And people would be like, I don't see why you just don't make a podcast. And I'm like, I don't even know how you make a podcast. Like, I don't even know like how to even start that or whatever. And my friend, he had a podcast, and I'm like, Chad, his name Chad too. I'm like, Chad, people are saying like I should make a podcast. Like, what do you think about that? And he had sent me like a link of like all this like stuff on Amazon, like microphones and stuff like that. I said, this shit is expensive.
Right.
Like, he sent me like all this stuff to add to my cart. And it was like, I'm gonna come over with my camera tomorrow. Like, if you order it overnight or whatever, I'll come over and I'll record you. And he came over and stuff like that. I had ordered all that stuff, and I done ordered this stuff, and it was high.
Yeah. No, shit ain't cheap.
This shit gotta work now.
We gotta make this shit go.
Right. So when he came over and recorded me, I felt like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. Somebody's looking at me. Like, and it wasn't working with the cameraman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna do this tomorrow with my stuff, but you can't come. Like, I'm just gonna give my advice in the microphone in my home alone, like how I normally like to be. Okay?
Yeah.
Like how I being weird and introverted again. Okay. And when I dropped it, everybody liked it and was like, finally a podcast from you and stuff like that. And I do feel like it's so cluttered, like what you said with relationships. But I feel like mine is those are wonderful too, but mine is different because like I feel like I'm telling people to leave certain guys, but I'm definitely giving more advice how to make families work. Like, you see what I'm saying? How to treat your man.
I love that.
Like, you see what I'm saying? How to carry yourself as a woman. So there's episodes where we could work on our femininity and being more soft to show up for our partner. There's ways to get us both to communicate better with each other. Like, I want more black households. I don't want everybody saying, fuck that guy. Because like I said, like, the goal is to be married if that's what you desire. Or to at least be in a relationship that you enjoy being in.
Right.
So I feel like on social media, it's a lot of relationship podcasts, but more of turning men and women against each other.
I was about to say, I don't even think those are relationship podcasts like that. Not when if you're trying to build unions, that's a relationship podcast. This other shit now, it's been, what's the word, convoluted?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so murky in the waters now, because it's like, oh, this is a relationship podcast. You cut it on. All right, who's supposed to pay for dinner on the first date?
50. How do you feel about 50? How do you feel about 50-50?
Yeah, like it's just crazy.
Who fucking on the first night?
All this toxic masculinity. These women ain't soft. Like, it's just like that's all you hear all the time. Like,
yeah, it's a lot of. We talked about it on one of our Patreon shows a couple months ago. It's just a lot of alpha male weirdos out here that's just nobody paid these niggas no attention until they was 28 years old and they start making 6 figures, and now they got these podcasts and they just saying the most ridiculous shit of all time. And you can tell they don't have no real life experience or like a catalog of dealing with qualified women, because if they did, they wouldn't speak the way that they do.
Like that, and then not only that, but I listen and tune into so many podcasts, and it's never been maybe like one or two where I'm looking at the guy that's speaking like, you know what, like he the type of guy that I would be deal with in the real world.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
listen to him. It's never been a guy that I would never look your way to even be taking advice from you.
Right.
Like, at least from the other men. I would hope that like men, not that you look at men that way, but like, you know what, he seemed like he got a couple.
Oh no,
ladies
listen,
that got advice,
listen.
like,
I got the ultimate radar. I can look at him and be like, you don't get no bitches,
right.
bro. Like, you can't tell me nothing.
I get more bitches than you.
Like, it just some of the stuff is just like, there's like, do you take yourself serious?
Right. That's how I be feeling when I like because you got to think on social media, you're scrolling all day. And I'm like, who gave him this microphone?
Like, perfect example, right? I came across this guy page the other day on Instagram, and it was like a big page. He had like 147,000 followers.
I got one for you.
And it's all of these clips, all of these, 15 to 59-second clips of him talking about this or that, and men need to do this, and prove you need to do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, let me just click on the link in his bio. Let me see where this goes. I click on the link in the bio to think like, all right, maybe there's like a podcast or something on the other end of this. And then I realized this shit had like 15 subscribers on YouTube, and it was the same clips that he had posted on his social media, on his Instagram, but it had no traction. And I'm like, yo, this nigga's in an empty room cutting wrestling promos, telling men,
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Cutting Macho Man promos, telling men you need to do this, and a woman that do so-and-so ain't qualified. And I'm just like, you in a room by yourself. It's not even a cameraman. You got the iPhone set up recording. I'm like, these niggas are insane.
It's funny because you talk about taking somebody serious. I saw dude the other day, and the whole aesthetic of like, he had a dyed beard.
Okay.
The whole joint. And that to me is like just dead giveaway for you lying.
You masking your true self.
You lying already.
You owe some niggas in Cleveland money.
Yo. And I'm like, and he had on a bow tie with like a shirt and the blazer, and it was like bright red. The shit, it just all felt so like just gimmicky.
Right.
And he's going off about women need to be more submissive, and you need to, and it was just all a bunch of the nonsense.
Right.
Whereas like, if I'm coming to you and I'm willing to take care of your life, then you need to get in line with what and y'all want to tell what, and I'm just like, yo, this is
when the reality of it is he needed to go rinse off his beard.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, it looked like he spent the afternoon at the zoo. Right. He got his face painted. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, yo, them dyed beard Jones is nuts. Like, it's all become a nasty back and forth with a lot of these podcasts and shows. And there are a lot of podcasts where you have a balance of men. It might be 2 men, 2 women, 3 men, 3 women. But those
are the worst ones.
That's what I'm saying. They're getting nowhere. We years ago attempted to do a dating episode.
Right.
Do you remember that, John?
It
was 2 hours of absolutely nothing.
Right.
It was funny. Rest in peace, Pike Street Kev. It was hilarious.
We got plenty sound bites.
But it was like, this isn't going anywhere.
Right.
And I think that it's more so like the Jordan and LeBron shit. That's what dating has become. We over here, and we're never gonna even try to understand each other.
Right. And the thing about it is, like, even what you said, like just turning each other against each other, or this alpha male and she's not submissive. Like,
they've been hitting me with the alpha female the last 6 months, and
okay, so perfect example. We talk about that. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because I'm an alpha male in business.
Yeah.
But I don't bring it into my home with my children and my family and my man, because I don't have to protect myself here. Everybody in this house loves me.
Yeah.
Like, so there's no need for me.
You ain't got to be a real nigga in the crib.
You see what I'm saying?
You can hang your real nigga up with the keys.
I put it on the counter where my
Anybody
kids.
see my real nigga? I'm about to go out.
I'm on my way out the door. Like, I put it on the counter when I get in the house. But we don't even realize that. There's been times where I've brought my real nigga in the house in my relationships, but because I grew up on survival, And I know that the type of man that I desire to be with, 9 times out of 10, like, he grew up on love. Like, he might know who his dad is.
Yeah,
he might have a good relationship with his mom.
Might have went to the mall with his pop
like
3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times. And that's still, like, he remembers it forever.
Right.
Yeah, with the Auntie Anne's.
Gotta press him.
Gotta sit him on the way out.
They've been to Hershey Park. Like, so I know that if I desire to be with a certain type of man and I want to treat him a certain way, my survival not even gonna work here.
Yeah.
And furthermore, a man that is successful don't care if I wrote 4 books. He does not care if I'm on tour. It's cute and stuff. Like it's quite impressive.
Yeah.
But the basis of why my man is with me is not because of like who I am or what I do. It's how he get treated.
It's about your character.
It's about my character.
Right.
So when we think about like this generation of like alpha women and say, I got a master's degree and my credit score 800 and I own my home, I'm not letting nobody play with me. That's cute. But if you're still annoying, like you see what I'm saying, and you're not a good person.
Yellow button.
I'm gonna ask you, because we had this conversation like 2 weeks ago at his house. Women are achieving way more, specifically black women, achieving way more than they ever have.
Right.
And a lot of them lead with that as like a badge of honor. I got a master's degree, I got a doctorate, I got this motherfucking certificate.
I got my Act 235.
Yeah, I kicked 2 niggas down the steps. I got a license to carry. They're achieving all of this stuff, and they lead with it, but they still don't want to be responsible for or pay for nothing.
Okay.
Why is that?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, because me personally, like if I want to treat my man, I'm going to treat my man.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't want to pay for nothing, I'm not going to say like all women are like this, but I know in this, how my grandpa treat me and stuff like that. And it's a lot of tricks out here. That's the reality.
Yeah. Big tricks.
Big tricks. Like, you see what I'm saying? So maybe the lifestyle, like, in which she has been accustomed with the tricks, that might work over there. But if you really want to be in a relationship, like, you might pay for dinner sometimes, and that's okay because it works for y'all. But like I said, like, when people needing to stay in their lane with wanting to be with certain type of people, if you with a girl and she has no desire to ever pay for anything, she might need to be over there with the tricks and stuff like that. And that's cool because
might need to give her back to the streets.
You might need to give her back over there. You might realize that you desire to be with a person that is more of a team player.
Right.
They're like, you know what, can I treat you to dinner tonight? Can I take you out so that you can feel like a baddie? You might want to feel like the baddie tonight. Like, I made reservations for us. Go and get dressed with your little sexy ass. You might want to be treated like that. And I
you squeeze my little ass up in this. Like
$40.
You might want to be treated like that. So, like we said, like, focusing on character. Like, and stop focusing on titties and ass. Like, because look where titties and ass is getting you.
Yeah.
And you might
looking at you watching your bank balance just diminish.
Dog.
And it's girls with good character and have titties and ass. And she's pretty. Like, you see what I'm saying? And she's not on social media and stuff like that.
And it's crazy. Guys inherently know this shit.
Right.
And they will overlook that woman every fucking time because she's not ostentatious and sticking her titties and her ass in the camera. Right. They'll just be like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to get that shit. Right. Plain Jane.
And it's crazy because like even like being a woman that want to be like modest and not wanting to be like, I don't want to be on the ground with my titties and ass and stuff like that. But that don't mean that those type of women don't like wear lingerie to bid for their man and stuff like that, or walk around the house naked, or aren't super sexual. They just have no desire to put it on social media.
Yeah, it's like niggas automatically, like niggas are tricking themselves out of good situations with good women by automatically lily padding to like, she ain't got her titties and ass out on IG. Boring. Like they're jumping right to that look. Corny, boring. Pussy trash.
Look at the influx of the body enhancement shit. That right there kind of show you where we are as like a people.
Right.
You got young girls that are doing 15, 16 surgeries because it's like, I gotta look like this to get this attention from this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like we're all fried.
Right.
Yeah. It's all just.
Especially like with so many people caring about likes on Instagram. And you might feel like, damn, like if I was a little bit more like with my titties out there, like more people would pay attention to my page. You don't even sell nothing on this page, like to even care about the likes. But I get it. Like you see what I'm saying? I get the pressure of like looking a certain way.
Like you a shift manager at Best Buy. Right. Like why are your titties out?
Why are your titties out? Like you see what I'm saying? And that type of stuff is really why it's going to be more surgeries and more people not liking stuff about themselves. And more selfies with filters.
That's what
I'm
saying.
More people don't want to FaceTime because they makeup not done or hair not done.
This is the craziest joint. Have you seen this shit? This is so funny because I know we all follow girls who do hair.
Okay.
Right? The girl that do hair, the girl is sitting in her chair.
She covering
the
her
girl
face?
getting her hair done. So she spin around in the chair to show the hairstyle, and the girl in the chair is like this. She's spinning her around because she don't want you to see any of her face.
The thing about
like, it be
it-
like, dog, we are really fried as a, like.
I literally was just talking about this. Like, if the girl is about to get her hair done, her face is covered because her hair not done. But then when your hair done, you showed your face. So I know who you were. Like, I'm seeing you right now. So I don't understand why the face was covered from the beginning. But like, it's gonna be more surgeries. It's gonna be more. Not that it's not the body shame or think that there's anything wrong with. If that's what makes you happy.
Yeah.
But that type of stuff is like, why a man whose woman might have just had a baby, he looking at her like a fat ass cow and stuff like. No, this is a normal body, and this is what normal bodies do.
Exactly.
That's what it's supposed to be.
This is what it actually looks like when it's not enhanced. Like, now, if I personally don't like something about myself and I want to change it for me, then that's fine. But to change it for more likes or because I might want to, and sometimes it's an investment for you to become a like Instagram girl or like it might actually bring
It
you
might
money.
be a next move.
It might be a next move for you, and I can respect that. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because that worked for you and that's your lane. It's not my lane, but I'm not mad at your lane or I'm not judging it.
We've reached a point in society where you got women who get their bodies done who are shaming women for not getting as much done to their body.
I literally
peeped
seen
that the other
somebody
day.
tweet saying, not having your body done is a broke bitch sport. And I said, oh my God. Like,
Yeah, it's like this where we are.
Yo,
I said, oh my gosh.
I saw the chick the other day who got her body done and was like, she didn't get her ass done. And she's like, yeah, that ass is real. These bitches could never do that. And I'm just like, but your titties and your nose and your neck, it's all been working. I'm just like, what, man? Like, so,
Earlobe surgery. What are we doing?
it's just all a big cooking.
For social media for women will have you on here like feeling just really awful. Like, damn. Like, you know what?
Yeah, and it's like as much as it is a tool for women to thrive and flourish, it also has the downside of it where it's like you'll be looking at all of these like, am I just dog shit? Like, how did we get here?
Right. And men don't even like, and the crazy part is men, y'all don't got that kind of pressure.
No.
Like, you could get your watch, you could be fly, I got a nice car, nice crib.
Don't have a
Boom.
Cuban.
Like, you see what I'm saying? But like, this could be, a nice apartment, a nice car, a little watch, that could set you up. Like, and it could open your horizons to a whole different demographic of women. Us, it's just like, I gotta get a butt, I gotta get some boobs, like I gotta have a nice frontal, like I gotta have my makeup done, some fake lashes and stuff like that. The girls out here,
It costs $30,000 a month to be a woman.
it's expensive.
This shit is
And
crazy.
everything has gone. I was saying the other day, like, yo, I remember when I was like young, like getting my girl nails done, $25.
Right.
He was the man.
And I remember her aunts used to be like, oh, here, he well, you need to keep him around. Like, $25.
Right.
Now, 25 might get you a nail.
Right.
Like a little pinky, little Coke John, like on the pinky, like,
so high.
nails is $250.
Right.
It's insane.
Unless you wear press-ons.
Them, what's the
Press-ons
the
pretty
eye?
good.
The eye
No, they look real good.
$150.
Right. I don't wear lashes, so I think that I might need to create some new expenses for my man.
Be like, yeah, Chad at Matt says you ain't paying enough bills on me.
I don't wear makeup. I don't wear lashes. One
We'll get a
time,
DM from him later. Yo, bro.
What's up with you, man? I thought we was friends.
It was cool, man. You was at the game.
I had got my lashes done, right? Trying to like, I don't know what I thought I was trying to do. He had just came home from playing basketball, so I came in with my lashes done, and he was staring at me like, something is real.
Something's off. That's how I be.
He was like, something is real. I'm like, what do you think it is? Like blinking super hard. He was like, I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. Like,
I'm the
I called
same
my
way.
girlfriend, like, he said he don't like these lashes. She like, I would say at least you ain't do it for a nigga, but you did.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not crazy about them. Once they get like super big and bloomish, I ain't.
Like, I was laying in the bed feeling so uncomfortable watching TV, like, while I can feel him looking at the lashes. Like, literally, I'm like, I could not wait for them to fall off.
Yo. Texting his homie, no, bro, I ain't feeling safe in there tonight, bro.
He was like, I don't know, maybe they too thick or too long. I don't like it.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta do what you do. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to, again, stay in your lane.
Stay in my lane.
Don't go over there. I said the whole heels thing. Like, heels is cool if you know what you're doing.
Right.
But if you don't know what you're doing,
Stay in your lane.
Dangerous equipment.
It's dangerous, dog.
Because it's still some girls that like got the like sporty look with the sneaks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those girls be pretty.
You're
like,
awesome. I love it.
right, and they don't be wearing
But
heels.
if you put heels on and now you walk like you like being sneaky,
right.
yeah, that little like Now this shit is bad. Like, now I can't trust you. I can't go to bed. Like, this shit ain't right.
What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, just stay in your lane.
Let me ask you this. Do you think a lot, it's something that you said earlier that made me think about this. Do you think that there's a lot of women that want to be wives and want to be in relationships and stuff, but are talking themselves out of it because of like the pressures of social media and this, you know,
that's a good ass question.
Fuck these niggas, I'll DDT you somewhere. I don't fuck with y'all niggas. I'm doing whatever I want.
I feel like it's
culture.
It's that culture, right? You want to listen to city girl music, and city girls, they in a relationship too, okay?
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes we are using it as a defense mechanism because we don't want to be hurt. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because I know that I can't find nobody that I actually like and want to be with, I'm saying, like, I don't want to be in a relationship.
I don't even want it.
I don't even want it. Because it's been a time where...
Why did Bond? Like,
right.
yeah.
It's been a time where it's though, like, I was on my... I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm just focusing on me and my career and stuff. That's because... I just got treated wronger and wronger and wronger. And I was just on a celibate journey and I don't want to talk to nobody. Like, I don't want it. But secretly, I really did want it.
Yeah.
Like, but I just knew the things that came with it. And it was like, dang.
I don't want that.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
That shit hurt right there. Okay. I want it, but leave that part out of it.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's a defense mechanism, but we all desire companionship. Like, you see what I'm saying? Especially as women, because we so emotional.
Yeah, humans aren't designed to be alone.
Designed to be alone. And even like as far as like the intimacy, you might be able to go hit something and it didn't mean nothing. Like, I might love you because this is so good and wonderful, and I might actually cook you breakfast. So to even think like that you don't desire and crave those things and stuff like that, I could understand like at this time in your life, like because there's been times where I've been super busy and I didn't want to be in a relationship because I felt like I would be with somebody that might make me choose between them and like doing what I love to do. It's been times where I felt like maybe when things slow down, I'll be in a relationship. But at no point did I ever really feel like maybe I'm meant to just be alone or just turn up and have fun. Like you being, not that there's nothing wrong with women who are not married, but you being like older and super lit, not married, like you don't want a husband. Like,
yeah.
That's a red flag a little bit to me. Like, especially like if you're beautiful and you have all of these things going for yourself. Like,
yeah, it's like what's the real issue?
You've been out here fucking for years. Like,
it's funny that y'all saying this because there's a girl I followed for a while and she was always on that type time. I don't want no nigga in my house. And who wants these niggas? And y'all crazy if you think I'm settling. Like she really used to talk like that. And I peeped recently. She's like married and has a child. Right. And it's just like, you just couldn't get a nigga. Right. That was it.
But you also got our options aren't like yours. Like so, I can.
And that she definitely because she was like, I remember the kind of guy she would kind of chase after, and now it's like it ain't that.
Sometimes
his jeans are huge. This guy, so it's like you had
double boot cuts.
Yeah,
but that big boot. But that check hit every Thursday.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you had to lower your joint a little bit and come back down to earth somewhat, and now you happily ever, and it's just we kind of live in like this like false sense of reality almost when we're younger.
And that, I feel like sometimes like for me, your type might be why you single. The type of guys that you going after. Now, he might have big ass jeans, but like we talking about character.
Gotta drop a flex bomb to that.
He might have some big ass jeans, and this might be a good man of character. And he might still have a couple dollars just because he's not wearing it. Don't mean he don't got it.
He might not be fashion savvy.
He might not be fashion savvy or care.
Yeah.
But that's an easy fix for me. Like if you're a man of good character, I don't like how you dress. It ain't nothing to tell you what to put on. Like. You being a liar, cheater, manipulator, all them things, I can't fix that. That's in your blood. Like, and I definitely feel like when I start focusing on, she might have just start focusing on more important things. Like with a lot of women who continue to go through the same thing or meet the same type of guy, your type might be why you by yourself or why things don't work out. You keep going after the guy with the chain or with the watch that's running around with a bunch of girls. You keep trying to make a man and create relationships out of those type of guys. When Jerome is a good guy. Mm-hmm. You know, he ain't got the most money in the world, but he gets by. He does well for himself. His house is clean. He likes to be in the house, and he will treat you like a woman. You think he corny.
The funniest part of this is I think his name is Jerome. I swear I feel like that's the name when she first.
Like, you see what I'm saying? He might not can't pay all the bills.
You reading everybody out this motherfucker. That's hilarious.
He might not be able to pay all the bills, but he can pay 65%. And right now, you pay it all by yourself.
Yeah, you paying 100% right now.
By yourself.
You
You're
about
still
to
mad
get
at his 65.
you about to get a 65% reduction.
Like you about to get 65%.
You better love Jerome.
It's like a tax refund every month. Like,
And the messed up part about the Jerome is Jerome will probably end up getting cheated on by a guy with a watch and a chain because
some emotionally unstable man gonna come along and fuck Jerome's wife.
Fuck Jerome's wife, unfortunately, because sometimes we don't even understand our value or the value of the person that we with because everybody's so easily replaceable because of social media and because of what we think is lit or what we think is ideally what we want to be with. Most people don't even know what they're looking for. You don't even know what you want to be with.
I know when I find it.
it's out there. You know
It's out there.
Like, I tell people all the time when people will be like, well, how do you know if this is a good guy that I would want around my kids or something? And I say, would you want this person to be your child's teacher? Like, would you be okay with this person being your child's kindergarten teacher?
Yeah.
This person is calling you a bitch, knocking you upside the head. Like, you would have been pulled your kid out of that school. Like, this is a person that I would want around my kid that I love the qualities of, like, I love the things that you teach to my child or the conversations that y'all have or, like, how you even take care and show up for yourself. Most people are in relationships with people that don't treat them well and they end up having a kid with them. You still getting untreated well, and they don't even respect what you do as a mother, and you don't want to be with them. But they were who they were when you met them from the beginning.
Yep.
And
you ignored every single red flag.
You ignored and the same thing with the men. Like men, I see them on social media talking about how women we so materialistic and we so this. You came with no materials, or you ain't had no materials to show up with, and you trying to make me feel bad about a lifestyle that I can create for myself.
Yeah.
Telling me that all you care about and stuff like that. That's all I cared about when I was by myself. Like, but if you don't care about these things...
Yeah, you don't get to come into my life and then short me on what I'm already doing without you.
You don't get to do that. But you can be with somebody that's more your speed.
Yeah.
And she might make you happier than I can.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like we said, stay in your lane. Like, find what makes you happy and what you really care about as far as values in your life and how you see your future and what you want for yourself.
I think the one thing that social media has kind of done, it's kind of condensed the world.
Right.
In a weird way, if that makes any sense. So you got like people now, they believe that there's nowhere else to go.
Right.
In a weird way. So it's like, if this is who I'm with, what else am I like? I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to keep this shit around because I already got the whole world in my hand.
Right.
And this is the only thing that came along to got me to this point.
Right.
So it's almost like a backhanded dynamic that we kind of live in now, where we got this much access, but we only use 2% of it.
Right.
Now you always talk about we only use 10% of what the iPhone can actually do. And people don't understand. You can go find love in fucking Punta Cana. You can go find love in Tokyo.
Right.
You can go find I got people that work all over the world.
Right.
You can just go out here and create things and create economy, create love, create a foundation. You can do anything all over the world. But people kind of like, man on the dirt bike. He been in my face for 8 years, so I'm just, and you don't realize, like, no, all man care about is dirt bike.
Right.
That's it. That's all he gives a fuck about.
Got a nice ratchet set.
Yeah.
Your experience is in your city. You have this also awful experience within Philadelphia. Or
exactly.
Wherever you live.
Yeah.
You've never been nowhere else and tried to do the same thing.
Right.
And then the experience might be different. You might fall in love in Tokyo or somewhere else. But sometimes we need to get out of our circumstances or where we are to get something different.
Yeah, you definitely. That's my thing. Don't stay in those situations that ain't yielding what
Right.
you need from. Like, that's just dumb.
Right.
You know, and I as me getting older and being where I'm now in life, you realize like, yo, it's okay to have needs and it's okay to like take care of them on your own before you even put it on somebody else. Because no one else can really make you happy. It's you at the end of the day.
You can't listen. And when you say that to other people, they feel like you being smart.
Yeah, they look at you like you nuts.
It is my job to make myself happy and show up for myself. My partner, he adds on to it. He makes me happier. Like you know what I'm saying? He makes me feel more loved. Even within a relationship dynamic, my partner cannot make me feel secure within myself. He can only make me feel secure within this relationship.
Right.
So if I'm going through your phone, worried about you doing something, that's not a relationship thing because you never cheated on me.
Right.
This is a self thing. I don't feel secure within myself, and I'm bringing it into our relationship. It's not your job to be trying to give me constant validation or you're so beautiful, you're so nice, I love you so much. I got to show up for myself that way.
And the wildest part about that you just mentioned, it like the going through the phone, going through emails, all that shit, is people do it and have no intention of leaving.
If I do that,
So it's like, what's
I'm
the
gonna
purpose?
leave.
You know what I mean? Like, a motherfucker go through the phone, see some shit, and then still be like,
Right.
now, I say it all the time, No, I'm never.
I love my man so much. I've never had a reason to go through his stuff. I don't touch his phone. I have his password. I don't go through it because I'm not leaving my man. I love my man so much. I'm not going through it. Why would I make myself mad or go look for something to make me mad?
She making the pancakes I like tomorrow.
Yeah, no,
I'm not going.
Who the fuck is Beulah, nigga?
I'm not doing it.
It's my aunt.
Yeah.
Especially for no reason. Like, I'm not, sometimes people my woman's intuition told me to do it. No. My woman's intuition told me go to sleep and let your man hold you.
Do you believe in the women's intuition thing?
100%.
Okay.
I never forget when I was in a relationship with somebody, that LMA song, Boot Up, came on.
Okay.
And the way he sung this song, I knew I was getting cheated on. Because there's no way that he was singing that song with so much happiness and was thinking about me. Like, I knew that he had, I knew it. It's no possible.
He like, we're miserable. So it's like, who the fuck are you booed up with, nigga?
That's exactly what it was. We've been arguing all week. But whatever you done had last night,
got you singing in this shit.
When I tell you,
miserable.
we are literally on our last fucking trip. And when I tell you, his ass was singing his heart out to that damn song.
Yeah.
And I knew, okay, I don't want to be with you no more because you're fucking somebody else. And you was with her last night. Because when I say singing his heart out, we were miserable. There's no way that when you listen to a song, you think about whether you was in college or you think about shit.
Yeah.
He wasn't thinking
Music
about
is
me.
like connective tissue.
Like,
That is funny.
and once he sung a song like that, I got it in my mind that tonight we go through that phone. Like, okay? And right in that phone, he was with that girl the night before, and it's okay. I charged it to the game. Like, okay, I already knew that from how you were singing earlier.
That's absolutely.
Feelings. He going in.
He's going in. So deep in my feelings.
I want to talk a little bit about your tour.
Okay.
That you're doing. You just sold out World Cafe Live. Let's clap that up. You know what I'm saying?
Woo.
What is your live show experience like?
Okay.
Because we do live shows too, and I'm pretty sure it might be a little bit of a different vibe. But what's your live show experience like?
So for normally for the live shows, that was my first live podcast, right? So when we have and that was cool. I really enjoyed that, like with the laughing and joking. But outside of and I did have 2 poets open up for me. Outside of how my poetry shows go, it wasn't like a super huge difference outside of me not doing poetry and me not having more poets. So I feel like the tour does so good because it's like literally a self-love experience and I have a 30-minute set.
Okay.
So it's not me coming on stage and doing a poem. Like I'm podcasting through my poetry. Like I'm doing my poems, I'm having conversations, we laughing, we joking, and then I gradually go into another poem.
Okay.
So it's keeping people like interested.
More engaged.
They're laughing. It's not me sad ass poem, sad ass poem, sad ass poem. It's not back to back with sadness. It's sadness in there, but I'm making you laugh in between it. And then we have so many great poets that come out like that, have different vibes. But because it is the self-love experience, it is a little strict on the poets that are able to perform and what.
Right.
You gotta send me the stuff first. Like I gotta hear what you are performing.
Okay.
Like I gotta know the genre of poetry because I don't want no trauma here. Like you see what I'm saying? Like it don't fit in this space. When we trying to create a healing, loving space for people, I want it to be on brand. So a lot of people, I want you to leave feeling like you want to fall in love. You might text your man or apologize to him or whatever the case may be. I don't want you leaving sad, depressed. Like that was just some sad ass shit. Yeah. Like people not really at our shows snapping. Like they yelling. Like you see what I'm saying? They yelling, they clapping, they standing up, they getting hype. It ain't really too much like.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So people really, and then sometimes we might have like we had a show at the Queen in Wilmington.
Okay, we did the Queen.
Yeah, we did the Queen.
Yeah, I like the Queen. That's a cool place.
I love that venue.
It was awesome. Shout out to Nerd and Molly. That was one of our favorite shows on our tour.
Yeah,
I like
that space very much, and we had a comedian in that one. I'm like, we could do a comedian sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed that, but it may be too raunchy for
I like that.
I like comedians.
Right.
Steph does the poets and comics. I like that where you got a poet, comic.
Right.
It keeps the vibe going, and it was a nice flow
Right.
of things. Yeah, I like that format of things.
We only had one poet, and I've been to like poetry and comedy shows, and I'm a person that get real bad secondhand embarrassment.
Wow.
I don't know. It just makes me feel so awful if you up there telling jokes and nobody laughing. It makes me feel so sad.
Yo, I can't watch somebody bomb.
Yo, somebody
do that.
bomb.
I can't watch it.
I'll be in the back like Newman. I like it
Because so sad.
I can't watch somebody bomb.
The thing with me is like me just being like a funnier person and having done it. You figure I did stand up, so I did well at it when I did it. I'm like real critique.
Okay.
Or where it's just like, damn, he could like. Remember we was at
Clint show.
Clint show, and his boy he had good setup.
He just missed the.
But he was just missing the right. And I'm sitting there where it's just like, yo, he could back out of this so crazy if he did this, but he just, you know, and I almost ready to be like with a sign, like, nigga, say this. Like, so it's like, for me, it makes me like watch it and just think about certain things in that manner just because I like the genre of stand-up comedy.
I feel like I do that with poets.
So,
like, when I'm watching other poets, like, especially if I know that I really see something and I'm going to take you on a tour. Like, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If I know that, like, I really, especially if I like your personality, because sometimes I feel like personality would be more important to.
Chad say it all the time. Are you easy to work with and get along with as opposed to your talent?
If I don't want to be your friend, then I wouldn't do business with you either.
Like you could be talented, but it's like if you a diva and we got to bring 18 cops in here. No. This is annoying.
Right.
Like,
and that's my thing. Like, I tell people all the time, like, if I wouldn't want to be your friend, then I would never do business with you because I wouldn't want to be around you anyway. So I'm not even going to blow my own shit and get mad by being around you. Because
we're not even going to do this.
Yeah. Diva energy, never going to work with you again. Like, I don't thrive well, and it's only enough room for one of those people, and it's me. Okay, but both of us, and no. I like people that's super. Just cool, calm, collected. They want to get their job done. They want to go on stage, kill it. They want to interact with the other poets. They don't really care if they going first. Who's going first? I don't want to be an opener. You're never coming back. Oh my God. Like, those kind of things, you ain't coming back. You should just be, because none of the other poets give a fuck what order.
Right. Like, so you the odd man out
you
now.
The odd man. Now you super, it's 300 people out in here. Yeah. Like, it don't matter who go first or second because.
You all going to be seen.
We're all going to be seen. Like, it doesn't even matter. So once
are you familiar with T Sleeveless?
Yeah, he's really good too.
Listen, remember John? He started this one joint. I mean, like, burned it down, and it's just like when you come out, you kind of got the opportunity to like set the tone for the night.
You set the tone.
And shout out to T. He flamed that motherfucker.
He's really good.
Yeah.
I was just seeing
I was judging the book by. I thought he was gonna do some Knuck If You Buck shit, but he came out, and I mean, like, he got super deep in his genre. I mean, like, he was awesome. He had
a poem that was just going viral. That's how I started following him.
Yeah, he's all that. He's really, really good. But like you say, set the tone.
You're setting the tone. Like, it's your job to create the vibe of what this show will be like. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're not confident enough in yourself to go out first, or you too scared and nervous, you shouldn't have been here in the first place. Right. But if I gotta go first, okay, and a lot of people came to see me, they're gonna start leaving.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter the order. Like, we are all here. We are all talented. We're here for them.
So let me ask you this. You said that growing up, you would write, you were scared to perform it. Mom come in the room, throw the book. I ain't doing nothing. I'm chilling. Now you on stage in front of hundreds of people. You headlining shows. You doing the plot. When did it flip?
This is so funny, right? So when I first started posting poems on Instagram, right, my sister had said, you know what? You should send your video to Wallow so that he can post it for you, like for promo. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know who Wallow is. Sorry, Wallow. But I had messaged him like, hey, Wallow, do you think that you can post this poem and let me know how much you charge for promotion? And he had messaged me back and was like, why don't more people know about you? Like, where do you live? I'm going to come to your house right now and we're going to record content.
Shit.
I'm living on my grandmama's couch at the time. Well, I'm in North Philly at my
grandma. Let me ask if I can have company. Hold on.
I'm at my grandmama's couch, okay?
Hey, Mom.
Nana.
Mama. Wallow said he coming over.
I had just got out of a relationship, just left the apartment and moved back in with my grandma. Like, I wasn't in the best space. Just getting out of a relationship, moving back with my grandma's house with my baby and stuff like that. I'm working at the post office still, but in Conshohocken from North Philly. Like, car breakdown every week while I'm talking about, let's record content. Like, I'm like, boy, I'm trying to make it to next week, trying to make my money stretch. But I was still willing to pay for a promo because I felt like that would be an investment.
Yeah, that's big.
So, and I don't want nothing for free. So when Wallow had came over the next day, mind you, I don't do this in front of other people.
Right.
And we always talk about like how patient he was with me. Like, we had to do like maybe like 45 takes because like he was making me uncomfortable looking at me and stuff like that. And he was like, no, you can do it, just keep going. And I'm just standing in front of the camera on the side of my grandma's house, like making the videos. And even watching the videos back, I cringe because I can hear the trembling in my voice.
Yeah.
But we got it done. We got 2 videos. Even after he finally got the first one, he said, all right, let's do another. I'm like, really? Like, you're just so kind.
He's a content machine.
Yeah. I said, you're just so kind. He said, listen, stop being hard on yourself. Just go, right? So when he posted it, And we had a conversation, right? And he was like, watch, you want to do shows, like you could write books, you could do so much of what you're doing. Like women are going to love this. And I'm like, you really think so? Like, I don't want to share it. He was like, no, I'm telling you, like you need to write books and have shows so people could see it in person.
Yeah.
So, and he will always call me and tell me what I need to be doing. Like in that year, I had posted a poem every single day because he was telling me like, you got to make sure that you are constantly outworking everybody else. Like, because sometimes people may not be as qualified or as good, but because they work harder than you, it may appear that they're better. So I always had it in my mind that like, no matter what I am, whatever I'm doing, because that year I had dropped 2 books in 6 months. No matter what I'm doing, I always want to be the hardest, most strategic person in the room. And I had my first show like maybe a couple months later, and I had dropped my first book, right? And I had told the people like, y'all, I'm going to make my book for pre-orders. And I'm going to write a book, but I'm going to use my pre-orders to write the book, and I'm going to leave my job. And I'm going to focus all on this and giving y'all content, right? But y'all have to pre-order the book so I can leave because I don't have time to work at the post office during freaking holiday season for all them damn hours and then try to even go to a show. Like, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
Like, it was never going to work. So they was like, girl, write the book. And you know, people always acting like they're going to support you.
Oh, brother.
Oh, geez. Yeah. So I'm maybe 70% done at the book, right? Because I have years worth of poetry to put in this book. So it's not even that hard. Now I'm just adding some chapters to go along with all these goddamn poems that I've been hiding from people.
Yeah.
And I put the book up for pre-order. I think I make my cover on Canva or something like that. I might have made a Canva cover. And I said, oh, my book is available for pre-order. I think like by Friday, it was like $20,000 worth of pre-orders for the book. And I went to my boss. It was like, yeah.
It's a wrap.
Let me tell you something, nigga.
Listen here, okay? Yeah. Listen here. I'm leaving this job, okay? Yeah. And at the time, mind you, I just moved back to my grandma's house, got out of a relationship. I was always like selling hair, got t-shirts, always trying to
figure it out.
Yeah, because like stuff was hard for me at the time. So when I told him the poetry and the book thing, it was another one of I'm just being an Aries. I'm gonna figure some shit out, okay? It was another one of my bright ideas. He said, I want you to know right now, Amira, if you want to come back when this don't work, you're going to have to go through the hiring process all over again, and you may not get put back to this location. Because I did like the location of my job I was at.
Yeah.
Like, I was cool with my coworkers. So he was letting me know, like, if you got to come back because this don't work out, I know we cool, but they might not put you here. So think about it. So I went home and I talked to my grandmama because I got to let her know that I know I'll give you a couple dollars right now, but things is going to be a little different. She thought that was the dumbest shit she ever heard of in her life, okay? You got these good benefits. You know when you work at the post office or SEPTA, you
got a good government job.
You family think
I
that
just left SEPTA. I was there 14 years. Like, you older black people?
They think that you made it. My grandma was just disgusted. Yeah. You have good benefits and good health care, and you're going to leave? And I'm just like, but this doesn't make me happy, and I want to be happy.
Older, like, it's fucked up, but older black people do not give a fuck about happiness when it comes to bills. They don't give a flying
You got to pay Xfinity. You got to pay T-Mobile.
You got AT&T. Like, they don't give a fuck about no happiness.
She did not care, okay, at all. So we had the first show, right? And Wallow comes to the show. Like, he's so happy that I had my first show. It's like maybe 100-something people in there. My first. And another thing is I never started off practicing at other people's shows because that was scary to me, thinking that y'all are judging me. I would rather have my own show, and I know they came for me. That makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. So I don't do other people's shows.
Right.
Now I do, like, because y'all are going to know me from social media. But or you might just fuck with my shit. But before, I was too scared to do other people's stuff. So Wallow comes, is we're like in Northern Liberties or somewhere, it's 100-something people. He's like, oh my gosh, like, didn't I tell you? Like, I know you made a killing. Like, how much did you charge for tickets? I'm like, $7. He's like, what
all right,
the
cool.
fuck?
We got $680. Like, all right, cool.
Well, pay for this outfit.
Got this on
And most of them charged $12 or something, like on the higher end.
Yeah.
But it was some out-of-pocket numbers.
General admission 7, VIP 1185.
When I tell you, he just looked so burnt out when I said that. He was like, but you have food catered here. I was like, I know. He's like, then you have to pay for the venue. I said, yes. Like, I used
like
my...
a broke even.
Yeah.
I didn't make $1.
The thing is, I didn't put my resignation in the post office. So we be back in 2.
Let me use my vacation time. I'm up for 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, I didn't make no freaking money. I wasn't, because you got to think, like, Well, especially when you were the first person in your family to do something like,
Yeah.
who I'm going to ask for advice?
Yeah, it's trial and error.
Like, yeah, like that's what it was. Like, I was happy they had a good time. Everybody loved it. Like, I didn't really have no other poets, maybe like 2 people. I didn't know that like I needed to put on a showcase. So I sat there on a bench with my poem and my paper, and 100 people came. It was a horrible show looking back on it. But it's okay.
But it was a starting point.
It was a starting point, and I turned it into a networking mixer at the end. So people still had a good time with the mixer part.
Yeah.
But it was a starting point. Tickets was cheap. Everybody came. They had a good time. They said the food was so good. The venue was nice.
Ain't it funny looking back on your old Jones? We like he's doing this run now of like a Throwback Thursday and going back to our older shows. And I at times just like question like the what's the proper term? The brain functionality of our fan base.
It's like, how did y'all get here?
How did y'all get, like, why were y'all listening to like, I listen back to, like, old episodes, like, because we 300 in on the regular feed and then another 180 on the Patreon. So we got the man hours now, so where we can do this effortlessly. And we were kind of like that from jump, but I listened back to it, my voice, because my voice sounds so crazy to me, and we really just was like, I didn't really have like a purpose. Right. You know, he kind of was already like, but for me, I didn't really have like, I was just Matt who had some jokes. Right. Where I didn't really have like a message I was kicking every week or something that I was trying to like leave a lasting impression with. And that, so it's insane. Going back to our first live show. Right. Like, what made y'all want to see the vision through with us? Like, right. Why are y'all here? How did y'all stay the course? Yeah, like, our first live show was abysmal, man, looking back on it. You know what I mean? And what made them want to come to the second one after that first one? They fuck with Chad or something. Like,
gave niggas rebates.
Yeah, real shit. And now you at a point now where do you feel that come alive on stage thing? Because the one thing we always get, at least for me, people like, yo, do you get nervous? Yo, do you? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I come more alive when I see people, and especially because of that. Oh, y'all here for me, right? Type jump. Whereas I can get in my act a little bit. I'm a storyteller, so I like doing this shit. And I say it all the time. If it's 6 people in a room, that almost feels more intense than 600. 100% in a room. Right. And people who don't perform don't really understand that concept. I would never perform in a library, like with that small space of a little bit of people. Because when there's more people, like you can't really see faces individually, like staring at you. It's funny because our next show that we're thinking about doing like an immersive 360 degree setup where it's just me and him like on a stage, almost like back to back. And it's we not doing because our last show was like a fucking concert. Right. No crazy lights, no none of that. Just 2 spotlights and us going. Right. And it's like, but it's going to force you into more of like your orator chops and more personal with, because it's going to be a smaller venue, you know, sort of like doing like a unplugged. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how Usher and them just did the small room. I mean, with the tiny desk. Yeah. Like doing some shit like that. And that, you know, it get to a point where you become so comfortable on stage that it's like, I kind of want to test how comfortable I am up this motherfucker. Right. Like, that's where you get to. So it's decent to see, you know what I mean? I definitely feel like when like the DJ is saying like, y'all ready for Maui or something like that, and people are yelling and going crazy and stuff like that, like it's definitely like hyping me up before I go out. Like, y'all really fuck with me and I fuck with y'all, okay? Like, especially like when I'm like at the last show, like when I had the live podcast, it's people that have come to so many shows, like I know their faces and names, and like and I'm yelling names out and they feeling super special. Yeah, exactly. Because y'all been rocking with me for so long. Like, people are bringing old ass books that with that Canva cover, like to get signed. Like, like look how long I've been rocking with your ass. Since you ain't know how to ship your books and you've been fucking up orders. Like, like it definitely make me feel so good. Like what we talked about, like knowing when you living in your purpose and you doing what you're supposed to be doing.
All right. I want to have some fun.
Yeah, rapid fire.
I want to do rapid fire. I want to get messy a little bit. I'm going to throw some names, some topics, some shows, some companies at you. Tell us the first thing that comes to mind. If you got to do some additional explanation, that's all right too.
Okay.
Poet.
Myself.
Healing.
Going to therapy.
Compromise.
Settling. Submission. can I elaborate on this a little bit?
For sure.
Okay. Because I don't feel like submission is a bad word. I know some women don't like this word.
They hate it.
Okay.
It's like it's
They look at submission as like getting put in the figure 4 leg
Right.
lock and
or
tap out.
or
Like,
being made to eat food out of dog
right.
food.
I don't speak up. Right.
you eat cat poop.
You eat that cat poop.
I don't speak up in my household. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm getting walked all over because I ask my man this sometimes, and I've asked him this, like, do you feel like I'm submissive in his relationship? And sometimes he says yes, and not in a way where I don't call him out on his shit or I don't speak my viewpoints or something like that. I'm willing to play whatever position that I need to play for whatever God has placed on your heart to do within your life.
Yeah,
like, you see what I'm saying?
player, yeah.
And it may not be cooking and cleaning and stuff like that. He's in college, I'm in college. It may be helping you with homework this week. Like,
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? It's me loving you so much and you're leading our family that I'm willing to play whatever position that I need to play so that your life can be a little bit less stressful because you're providing a life for me and your family. Now, Jerome of the street, who getting on your nerves that want you to cook and clean while he cheat. If you want, that ain't being submissive. That's you just being crazy. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you know your man has a bigger vision and stuff like that, if y'all decided to tour and your girlfriend might be at the home at the house by herself all the time, and there's certain things that you needed for her to do while she's there, I love you so much, and I trust what God has placed on your heart that I will help you see the vision through by making your life a little bit less stressful.
Oh, no, that's real.
So yeah, submission for me. But I feel like your man could, if the roles was reversed, would you be able to be submissive if it was her on the podcast and she had to go on tour?
Oh, I would love it. I'd be in the house cooking. Listen, go out there and get that paper together.
Hooking them links up.
Because I don't feel like men think that they can be submissive, and you can also play that same position
Yeah.
too. We both can be submissive in our own right for each other.
When I think about submission, I honestly just think about loving somebody with no ego attached to it,
Right.
and being willing to do what need be done when it need be done.
That's it. Like, I'm just charging it to the last when I got pregnant. Mind you, I got a son already, and I decided, like, you knew when you was in a relationship with me that I toured and this is what I do. I might need you to drop my son off to my baby daddy, and because I'm not there.
Yeah.
But you love me and you believe in the vision and what's going on. All right, homeboy. Like, I got your son.
Yeah.
I got your son. I'm gonna drop your son off. So, like you said, like, seeing it through and doing what needs to be done. It's a team. It's not us against each other. There's no ego here.
Yes, we not me.
Right. We both
Yeah.
we in it together.
Yeah, submission definitely is supposed to go both ways. I was saying the other, I think me and you was having a conversation where it's like, in fact, we did it on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is people kind of fall into believing what they see out in the world,
Right.
and not realizing that your household is
Fine.
it's your household.
Right.
So there's no right or wrong way from the outside world for your world to exist.
What works for them may not work for what may not work for me.
Not even on some A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Your household might run 38%
Right.
like mine's.
Right.
So that other 62 has nothing to do. And
Right.
we have this thing where it's like, oh, well, if y'all don't do 1, 2, 3, 4, y'all can't possibly be 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
That's bullshit.
No.
There is no right or wrong way to do anything. What works for you might not work for me on every level.
And that's cool.
Your household might drink Essentia. We might drink Fiji.
We drink Fiji.
Yeah, little shit like that. Where
Right.
It's just like there is no right. We might drink Deer Park.
Right.
There is no right or wrong way to do any of this shit. So
It works for y'all.
yeah.
The shade room.
I'm in the comments arguing with people.
You are?
Yeah.
You one of them people?
I'm not being rude, but like I'm really just challenging the way people be thinking sometimes.
Oh, so you're challenging the retardation on the app.
I'm challenging, like, what made you think like that? Like,
Yeah, like, how do we get here?
like, I'm really curious. Like, I wanted to know your thought process. So sometimes you might see me in there asking somebody, like, what made you, like, why do you think like that?
Let me ask you this. Do you ever gain any understanding from challenging these people's way of thinking?
Sometimes, but most of the times, no. But I realize a lot of the way of thinking is just personal experience. Like, you're just on here with your own personal experience, and that's why you think that
Yeah,
way.
people live in echo chambers, and they tend to assimilate to the people that they talk to and interact with the most.
Right.
So it's like if everybody around you is burnt, you probably gonna be burnt out
Right,
too.
right.
What dancing we fried?
I don't
We
learn-
all fried.
I don't learn nothing, but it is what it is.
Next one, Chrisean Rock,
Toxic.
Michael B. Jordan,
He look good.
Love and Hip Hop,
That's just two. I'm not in that area. Like, I don't watch that.
Basketball Wives,
I might watch it once or twice if I'm bored. Don't you know you got to eat something and watch something?
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
if it's on,
It's just on.
It's on.
Cardi B.
I like some of Cardi's songs. I like that Cardi, she speak out on stuff that other people might not speak out on. She uses her platform to spread some type of awareness. She might not be super educated on the topic, but she's going to use.
She gonna get in the game and throw a couple shots up.
She gonna talk about it, and I can respect that.
I would get it. Then.
Amber Rose.
Bald.
What?
Bald.
Bald.
Bald slut walk.
Whole Phase.
A real thing.
Zeus Network.
I'm not paying for no shit like that. not even for Mayweather. The fact that Mayweather thought that I would buy it from is crazy.
Wait, who owns Zeus Network?
A guy named Lemuel Plummer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking people like, did Mayweather win? Like,
Yeah, a guy named Lemuel Plummer, who's actually a very smart, talented young black man. He's like in his early 30s.
oh,
Did any of y'all catch what Dan said?
Yeah.
I said, who owns Zeus Network? He said, Tiny, listen. That was Devo from Brothers with Zeus back in the day on wrestling.
On No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan.
Tiny, listen. Shut the hell up. So you don't watch any of that Ratchet TV shit?
and I watch the OWN network. It's Oprah channel.
Yeah, I'm hate that Ratchet.
Yeah,
Chad is a fucking connoisseur.
Yeah, I'm a connoisseur of all things Ratchet.
Yeah,
I was going to
Chad's
ask you,
on
do
that
you
shit.
have any guilty pleasures of Ratchet TV or online content that you consume, or is it all positivity all the time?
Ratchet stuff. Like the Shade Room, like stuff that's going on.
Like,
in
do
there.
you know what South Central Baddies is?
I don't know the characters, but I hear it.
You hear it?
Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
but
aware of it.
I'm aware of it.
Okay.
South Central Baddies. No, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, if you don't know who the characters are, that means you're doing a good job.
Okay, I don't know who they are.
Do you listen to like rap music from like the women?
I like this girl. I'm my bag. I'm my Telfie. Mia the Don.
Chad,
The song is named Telfie.
I'm not familiar with her. She knew?
She knew that's the only song she really got.
Okay.
No, I more so mean, do you like the message behind like a lot of music now? Like, do you listen to it or hear
I listen to rap, but like from guys and stuff like that. When it
Okay.
come to women, like,
Like, you're not subscribing to like the new Lotto or the new.
okay, so I did listen to the Lotto album. Like, it was a couple songs on Lotto album. Like, it's a song called Sunshine. It's a couple things on there I actually really like.
Okay.
But stuff that's just like, because I'm thinking too deep about shit sometimes. If it's too sexualized, like,
Can't fuck with
I
it.
can't fuck with it probably. Like,
Yeah.
I can't fuck with it. I do like what's the other girl with that orange hair?
Oh, Ice Spice.
Ice Spice.
Ice Spice.
I love Ice
I'm
Spice,
not
man.
beefing with
She's
Ice.
super fun.
I just feel like she's just trying to have fun.
carefree,
Like,
yeah.
she's not taking this shit too
Like,
serious.
damn, she in her mood.
It's just like, so if I'm doing my makeup, I will put this on. Like, she not bothering me.
It's funny because I say with my girl time, like the one thing that like, you know, your people's got things that you just like, what the hell? She loves that music. And I, you know, whatever, because I grew up listening to fucking Bone Thugs and Harmony
Right.
and everything, whatever. But it's just like when we in the car and she cut on like the Meg and the what's Quavo girl?
Oh, Sweetie.
All of the, and every record is, yo, nigga bought to protect. I sat on your nigga face. I fuck your nigga. Like every fucking record.
Not to say like they probably all have one song that like it's probably their hit. I probably like
Yeah.
Like I probably know the words to their hit song, but like to download the album and like really try, like I'm probably not gonna do that.
So what type of music do you listen to, if you even listen to music
Like Mozart
regularly?
No, like I listen to like every time somebody dropping something, I'll be on your Twitter to see how you feel about this stuff. Like when Meek dropped this thing, I'm like, hey, how do you feel about this? Like
Yeah.
I'm
She hit me
listening
about music all the time.
I'm listening to rap. Like I'm listening to like Lil Baby, Drake, and Meek. Like I'm listening to like if you tell me something is in right now, like I'm going to go give it a listen to critique it and see how I feel about it. Like I'm listening to Kevin Gates too.
I love Kevin Gates. That's
my
my
favorite
nigga.
rapper.
He's like the super weirdest nigga of all time, but he say some real shit too. But his music is just, he just super duper rap.
I literally just be feeling like Kevin Gates, like I'm just gonna be myself, and I really don't care what nobody think about it. That's why I fuck with him.
What I admire about Kevin Gates is, from a musical aspect, is he talks with a lot of specificity. He talks very dialed in, very
Right.
specialized on whatever it is, whether he's talking about mental health, drug dealing, dating, relationships, whatever. He's speaking from a first person
Right.
account of this shit happened
Right.
to me or through me,
Right.
and I experienced this, and he can communicate and relay the
I
situation
bought the coke
in a
from
palatable
Colombia.
way.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the
I'm
girl
fucking with the plug's daughter.
I'm fucking with the plug's daughter. She met me at the airport. We brought the coke from. She's very detailed. Whereas everybody is like,
exactly.
What do you say?
Everybody's trying to sound good.
$1 million bond, 30 minutes, nigga made bail. Like, yeah, like I fucks with
That's
you.
another song where he said, if I can't make the bond in 30 minutes, like just don't even worry about it. Like very detailed opposed to people that's trying to like just sound good for the beat and just make up anything.
Yeah, Kevin Gates can rap. He can super
duper rap. Let me ask you this. I got like 2 more questions, and we can wrap this up because I lied and told you an hour, and we working on 2 hours.
Okay, I knew it was gonna be longer than an hour.
When you see a super toxic, dangerous, unhealthy relationship like Blueface and Chrisean get so much damn attention, what are your thoughts as somebody whose whole ethic is healing and self-love and wellness?
It's really just like kind of like how y'all was saying, like where is we going as a society?
Yeah.
Like it make you a little bit disappointed that some people will find this entertaining. Like you see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Societal disappointment.
Like it makes me very disappointed. Like it's never okay for like a woman to be beating on a man or him putting his hands on her, like spitting on each other's face. Like just so much that is very disappointing. Mm-hmm. Like when I think about like growing up, like how I would watch Bad Girls Club and stuff like that. Like as a teenager, it was more of like I'm gonna be on that when I get older, like cause I'm a kid. Like we don't know, like we don't see this in our neighborhood and stuff like that.
Bad Girls Club really had a chokehold on the young. I remember that shit. Jesus
like when we was young, we would watch Bad Girls Club and stuff like that.
Random, did you know Tommy fought the girl from Bad Girls Club?
She fought Natalie Nunn
from Bad Girls Club.
Natalie Nunn beat the brakes off. Beat the brakes off Tommy.
For me to be like entertained by this as an adult. And to still be entertained by the stuff I was entertained by.
It's like, 16, where's the growth?
It's like, goddamn.
Bruh, that's a big one. Like, why are you still entertained by the shit you was entertained by 25 years ago?
I couldn't even, like you said, like, I'm not watching Zeus. My mom
Remember Cops? Like, I can't watch that shit.
I can't watch Cops. That's fucking with my nerves.
Yeah.
It's making my nerves
that shit back in the day used to be hilarious. Jerry Springer, I couldn't imagine sitting there watching that shit. I remember right before I left my job, they used to every day watch like Maury and Jerry Springer in the break room. And I'm like, yo, can we put something else? There's nothing else better on.
Put Judge Mathis
another
on.
paternity test. Like, when y'all are watching this shit again, at a certain point, you do got to grow past the nonsense.
Right.
It's funny with the Chrisean Rock, what's his name?
Blueface.
Mm-hmm. Chris Rock new stand-up is called Selective Outrage, and he spoke about like the whole. It was brilliant the way he did it, like the whole bit about bringing it back to select. And it made me think to us when we talked about the Chris Brown shit from a couple weeks ago. The girl who had this whole problem with Chloe Bailey doing a song with Chris Brown. She's like, oh, he's a woman beater. Why the fuck is he da-da-da-da-da? Then they go find her tweets, and she's like, let me tune in to Chrisean Rock and Blueface and see what they got going. It's just like, how the
fake outrage.
How can you be a domestic violence advocate and then be like, let me go watch these two rock'em sock'em robots beat the dog shit out of each other for 45 minutes?
Right. But I feel like
I heard rock'em sock'em in like 50 years.
Because we got this platform for anybody to speak how they feel. Like, I'm not really never on my page talking about nothing that's controversial, but I also don't really I'm not talking about something that I'm not willing to die about. I'm super passionate about. I don't really care about this shit to have an opinion. Yeah. And then sometimes I'm just not even educated enough to have an opinion. Like, I think when I was listening to y'all throwback episode, I think that maybe you asked Chad, you think it would ever be another black president? You start using words I didn't even know. Like, if somebody asked me that, I would just be like, I don't know. Like, you went into, like, maybe if somebody
Obama can run again after 12, right?
Like, just being super educated with the response, I would have just been like, I don't know. I never thought about it. Like, because I'm not into politics.
I'm going to keep it a buck with you. You know why the Chrisean Rock and the Blueface shit has, like, such a hold on, like, culture and society? Is because behind closed doors, a lot of relationships mimic that shit more than we'd like to believe. Like, these are, like we talked about earlier, rumbling, arguing, your pop getting knocked out. These are daily occurrences.
We really be in here rumbling.
I dead ass can remember walking in the shop and, like, a nigga coming in the shop. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? Nah, I just rumble my girl pop. And it's just like...
and the two old heads are fucked up.
You done beat this girl. You done beat this girl dead up.
Two old head up.
You done beat this girl dead up.
Then we sitting there, we chilling. Maybe like 3-4 minutes later, you see a car pull up. That's my girl, and I'll be back. And he gonna hop in the car with her, and they pull. And I'm just like,
and they next week they doing the same thing.
Like, how do you rumble your girl pop? Like, how is this like a thing?
And the thing about it is, like, what you saying. when you see somebody else doing it, you think your shit not that bad.
Right.
Because they all doing it. Like people, or even when you see happy people on Instagram, like everybody is not living a facade. Like
Exactly.
some people like literally just are in healthier relationships than you. Like people are not faking for Instagram. Like you hear people say that all the time. People are lying for the gram, where they just want to make it seem like they picture perfect. Shit might not be perfect, but we definitely ain't getting into what y'all getting into. Like I'm definitely not getting caught a bitch now. So,
No, like
so
I have not been poked with anything.
I've not been
no fork, no nothing.
Like I said earlier, when you said you ain't never burned nothing, I've never done anything to get a reflex from anybody. I've never poked the head, spit in the face, and anything that may activate your reflex. I've never done any of that because it's but so many pokes you're gonna be able to put up with. Like,
yeah, no, that you'd be surprised. People's lives mirror that a lot more
Right.
than we'd like to believe. So that's why it's easy to watch the shit for people.
yeah,
I'm like, oh damn, they okay. Vodka bottle upside the head. It's about right.
Yo, when she busted him upside the head with the vodka bottle and was vacuuming the glass out his head, I said, all right, this is going too far.
I saw the video that was going around of apparently he socked her dad, snuck her dad, or the dad.
Her dad snuck him.
Her dad snuck him. Then he came back and beat the dad up at the.
Yeah.
And I'm just
she
like,
didn't force your mom.
And then tweeted, I'm her daddy now.
She didn't force your mom and your sister. Like, y'all fighting parents, siblings, like the whole thing. Like even like the parent, like when I see his mom like responding, like the shade room posting, like the mom. arguing, Like the whole.
No, his mom is burnt out. His mom gangbanged on her. She heard the mom told her, I'm big whoop-de whoop from such and such. Like,
the whole family dynamic is awful.
Started hitting with the gang signs. I said, oh yeah, this is different.
The whole family dynamic is just like terrible.
I hate us, man. Honestly.
Last question, unless Matt got something else. What did you think of the Michael B. Jordan and L'Oreal situation on the red carpet? People are pretty much divided down the middle on about how they feel. We have our thoughts on it. We did a whole show basically about it the other day. But I'm curious to know what your thoughts were on that situation. Was he wrong? Was she wrong? And is there a statute of limitations on bullying?
Okay, so I seen the girl posting the clip because I seen everybody calling Michael B. Jordan corny and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm a person that I prefer people to stand on what they said, and that ain't no statute of limitations for me personally. I don't feel like he was disrespectful to her, but I feel like sometimes people just want to call somebody. Y'all already call him corny, so that's just what it's gonna be. Like y'all already think that he's corny or whatever. But
bingo.
Like,
go ahead.
It was just like the confirmation of the corniness. He was just how they call Sierra man, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Anytime he does anything that you don't agree with, it's going to be because he's corny. Like
Right.
I feel like that's because when I watch Michael, it wasn't like he said bitch while you was talking about me.
Yeah.
He was like, you call me corny. Like,
call me corny.
It wasn't even in an aggressive voice or anything. Like
He just let her know, don't forget to remember.
right.
That's all.
And I feel like when I looked at her social media, like she was able to enjoy her Instagram all night of keep reposting.
Didn't I say, this is exactly what I said. You got the viral moment out of this shit. Like you gonna fucking turn this into a whole lane of revenue.
I actually feel like he did you a favor by
the whole issue for me was I don't even think he goes into saying anything crazy before she said we go way back to Newark in high school, and it's like no we don't.
Right.
We was in high school and you called me corny, but we don't go back like
we
four
not
flats
friends.
in a Cadillac. We cool.
Right.
That was the biggest
We wasn't
issue.
eating lunch together or anything. Like
And I saw the Joe Budden.
Y'all was shooting spitballs at me.
Yeah, like I
it was
saw
not
the
cool.
Joe Budden's take on it. I'm just like, yeah, this is anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, end of the day, y'all think he corny, so anything gonna be corny.
Right.
I can vividly remember Oskino on State Property album saying, any bitch that fronted on me, I'ma piss on him. So that was one of the greatest fucking albums ever invented.
And that was my take on it was a Philly nigga would have really dragged it.
Dog.
A Philly nigga would have did the most. He would start calling people, FaceTime, group FaceTiming niggas.
But I feel like that's just anybody. Like if you know they've been talking about you and they smiling in your face, like don't come over here asking me no questions. That's what
That's fake shit.
Like, it's giving face.
She could have asked the questions and kept it ABCD.
Right.
I'm an interviewer on the red carpet. You a red carpet actor about to go into your movie. But once you try to create this personal connection for your fan base,
as if he wouldn't remember.
We don't have a personal situation because the personal situation we had was you clowning me or talking down on me or belittling me.
Right.
Let's not do that for your people to try to seem like, no, I've been on Mike. I've been trying to put Mike on.
Right.
Let's not do that.
And it's not even a shade like one person against the other. But when we call people corny and stuff like that, Michael B. Jordan and the people that's actually calling him corny, who would you prefer to lead your family? Like, y'all would choose
Exactly.
a cornier person. Like, but y'all taking advice and the opinions of the people that I'm not taking. No shade to Joe, but I'm not taking advice from Joe. Like, that's
What Joe?
Joe Budden.
Oh, I'm thinking Joe. Like the singer. I'm like, what Joe do?
I'm not taking advice from him. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A bunch of unsuccessful
was his
relationships.
take
And
on
Yeah,
stuff
it's like
that.
you're a former junkie.
Like-
You've fucking RKO'd and Stone Cold Stunnered a bunch of women. It's public record. You never had an outfit that I could get along with. Like, it's just all of these factors on why I just can't take advice from you. Phenomenal podcaster, but you just completely missed the mark
Right.
on this one. And the biggest part about it was what he didn't say is, I'm mad because this is my homegirl.
Right.
And that's what he should have said. I'm
Right.
biased. This is my homegirl. I didn't appreciate how you
Right.
treated my friend.
And that's what you could have said.
That's what you could have said and could have just left it
and we
at
could have
that.
got, like, that's my homegirl. I could have, we would have
I ain't fuck with that.
But people almost made it seem like Michael B. Jordan came there with that intention.
Right.
Y'all, nigga, I am the star of a fucking
And the director.
$500 million franchise on my own.
Yeah.
Reed is a standalone now from Rocky.
Yeah.
I'm the star of the first one made 250, the second one made 225. This one's gonna do 2 to 3. So this is a $500 to $600 million franchise that I'm the star of. Newsflash. I'm the fucking co-star
Right.
of the biggest black movie in the fucking history of Earth.
Exactly.
I'm not coming here for the chick with yellow hair to be like, yeah, remember in high school when you. That's not what
I
I'm
didn't
here
even know you
for.
was gonna be
I
there.
didn't even know. Honestly, oh shit, that is you.
Right.
Yeah,
It is you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not, and the thing is, people overestimate their importance in certain situations. It's not his job as the star of this franchise, a producer and the director, to read the press junket and know who all gonna be there.
Right.
I'm just going down the road and just dealing with everybody on an individual basis. I see a familiar face. I'm trying to do my job. You hit me with some Joe
Right.
shit, and I'm confused. I'm taken aback.
Yeah.
Right. And you was probably one interviewer of a bunch of interviewers that was there tonight. He didn't come with the agenda of, I'm gonna make sure I say something to her ass tonight.
Yeah.
that's
Like true story, and I know people from my high schools probably listen. There's my homegirl Catherine, Katie Davis. Katie could see me at a red carpet and be like, yo, we go back to, and it'd be like, yeah, that's my dog. We
Right.
go back to high school. We were always friendly to each other, nice, went to each other's houses, got invited to parties. I was there when she got her first marriage. We always was cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone who I could name from my high school who wasn't so nice to me. And if I see her at a red carpet event and she say, me and Matt go back to high school, I'll be like, bitch, you remember like, that's fact. That's
Right.
life.
Right.
I don't know why people are acting like this is some shocking, crazy shit.
Right.
He reacted to you trying to make like we've had this 20-year-long personal connection that go back to you in what's the word? Encouraging me and telling me to go for my dream. And no, y'all used to clown me when I was walking around with my headshot.
Right.
The headshots worked.
100%.
I can't act all too good, but goddamn it, I made it. Like, you know, the headshots, despite all that, the headshots worked.
The headshots did what they were supposed to do.
They did. They was headshotting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like anybody, we always find a reason to call anybody corny because
Yeah.
of the examples that we looking at or what we seeing.
Yeah.
If your freaking bar is set at Chrisean and Blueface, yes, I'm very corny.
Right.
Like, I'm corny as shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I get it.
Yeah, DJ Academics has been saying a lot lately that black culture is street culture and that we assimilate a lot of our archetypes of what's acceptable and what's lit based on like what's going on in the streets. And it's like, these are not the people, like you said, that you would want to teach your kids kindergarten. These are not even
Right.
people you want to take your kid to school.
Right. But I know that some people are probably, their thought process probably not even like that.
Exactly.
Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we go to certain, the crazy thing about it is, like, when we go to certain places or we get treated a certain way because other people's perception of us is Zeus Network. Yeah. Like, and that's not the collective. That is not the collective. Like, I don't want them standing on the couch next to me doing any of this either.
If you took your kid to daycare and the daycare worker looked like Chrisean Rock, like it was a tough ass hoe with missing teeth, deadlifting 350, but you'd be like, yeah, let me get my kid.
Right.
out of
You want
here.
to say, don't judge a book by its cover. She's
Yeah.
probably so nice. No, we unconsciously judge even when we're not trying to.
Right.
So you would probably go talk to the director of the daycare. Like, hey, what's up with the
Yeah.
teacher that you
Straight
got
up.
this no teeth and all tatted up?
Last question before we get you out of here. Do present young women have enough positive role models?
So I feel like what we have, because like y'all said, like y'all just be feeling like I'm just so old. We have more resources. Like, it's no way, how I personally feel, that young women my age or like even older than me that you cannot be accountable or get the necessarily. There's no reason for me to blame my mom being on drugs for any way that I behave. Because I have a therapist. Like, you see what I'm saying? Listen. Like, we are working through all of that. Daddy issues. There's no way with all the resources that we have. You can go to therapyforblackgirls.com, blackmencanheal.com, all these different places. There's no way that with the amount of resources that you can even say that I didn't have no role model. Like, because even if you didn't, you can go find one online. Like, you see what I'm saying?
What you're saying, a lot of what you're saying kind of mirrors our Patreon episode we did. We didn't even drop. We put it out this morning, right? Yeah. We dropped it this morning. We were talking about the whole John Moran issue. I don't know if you're familiar with it, up on it. But, like, people are like, oh, he's 23 and this and the third, and they yelling at T. Moran and this and that. And it just be like, yo, the world we live in now, you have this internet. And like Kanye said, the internet is your sky. Right. You can literally achieve anything through the internet. So it's like the fact that you have all these resources at your disposal, like you don't have to walk to the library. Seriously, you don't have to do these things that you had to do back in the day. You can literally get any bit of information you want. So you do have to have a certain level of accountability all across the board. That blaming my mom growing up or my dad this or my grandmama did or my uncle was this or my sister showed me. Right.
Listen, and it's not to say that those things don't have an effect on who you are
of course
and your experiences. But like, how can I navigate through life and not be carrying this around and blaming these experiences on why I treat people a certain way, why I make certain decisions, why I'm settling for a certain lifestyle? Like, you can literally Google, how can I go get my LLC? How can I open this? How can I do this? Where can I get a therapist? Like, anything that you want to do in this world, you can literally Google it.
The funniest part is I've had people hit me up for like information on certain things. Like, I know you know what's going on, bro. Help me out with this. And they ask me, I leave the text and go to Google. How do I and then I come back to the text and tell them, like, see, bro, you always on point with this. And it just be like, man, this shit is.
I'm a man of many things that I know.
This shit is just available, man.
I just Googled it. I just went on Google.
Really using between 2 to 10% of their phone functionality.
Yeah. Texting, dick pics, and arguing with strangers
in the gram.
That's it. That's all it is.
They're not using a big portion. No, so I definitely feel like they might not have a lot of role models, but also being mindful of the stuff that they following on social media, who they taking information from, and because I try to be mindful of the people that I'm following outside of the ones that I've just been following forever, and I don't watch your kids grow up. So we got an emotional connection here, but I try to make sure that the people I'm following, like, they got lives that I admire. Like, I'm on Issa Rae page. Like, I love Issa Rae. Like, people who live a life that I aspire to live, or like got content that I just enjoy seeing. Like, them the people that I want on my timeline. If I had Chrisean and all these different people on my timeline, like, I would feel like certain things is okay. Or
I'd want to rumble a little bit.
I want to, you know what? Like, don't get smart with me.
Yeah. What you mean extra honey mustard 35 cents?
Who you talking to?
Tearing up the Burger King and shit. Yeah. No, that's real. This has been excellent.
It's been phenomenal, man. You got to come back again.
Yeah, this was really good. This is one of the best podcast episodes I ever did.
Yeah, we try to not make it more so, not an interview, but like we going to kick it and we going to get
conversation.
It was real conversation. Like, it was, microphone wasn't even here.
Yeah, we covered a lot of topics. Talked about a lot of ground, your business, your life ethics, who you are, your essence as a woman. I think we did everything that we came here to do today.
Okay.
We appreciate you.
To international, what is it? National Women's Month?
Women's History Month.
Women's History Month.
International Women's Day is March 8th.
Okay.
So you got Women's Day inside Women's Month.
Okay.
So do something nice on the 8th for a woman that you know.
Yeah. Not allowed to do anything for these other hoes. Do something for her. You know what I'm saying?
We absolutely appreciate you coming to join us today, being on the show. Like I said, it was a long time coming, and I'm glad that we got this done in such an amazing fashion. You're phenomenal. We support everything that you're doing. Best of luck, on the rest of your tour dates and everything that you got going on. I'm going to try to make sure I make it to Baltimore. Is it sold out yet?
I'm not sure. I got to look.
Got to look? Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to look, and if it's not sold out, I'm going to buy my tickets.
Where is it at
today.
in Baltimore?
It's at this art gallery space. I've been here once, and it's a black-owned space. I try to do my best to use black-owned space. Yeah. It's not always possible, but for the most part, I try to find a black-owned space. Yeah.
So
it's a nice space.
Give everybody your social media, and then where they can get the tickets for the tour and everything like that.
So my social media on every platform, on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, is Maui, MAUI _W. That's just it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it, and that's all.
_W, Maui _W. And y'all can get the tickets at MauiTheWriter.com.
Oh yeah, your podcast, self-care and chill with Maui.
Self-care and chill with Maui. We are talking about relationships, healing, therapy, loving ourselves, and loving the men in our life.
Let me ask you this: has the ethic of like your podcast evolved at all? Are you doing like integrating guests and stuff like that on your podcast now? Or are you still just kind of just shy about it and just kicking it with yourself all the time?
This year, I got an episode dropping this weekend with a guest that people are going to be very surprised to see on my platform. Okay. Maybe I could just tell y'all because I have Derek Jackson this weekend that the episode is dropping, and we're talking about relationships and healing. So people are still on brand, and I know like a lot of women had sent their name to be on there. Yeah. So they're really going to be like, I wonder what the hell is going on.
That's going to go crazy.
Yeah. So this year I'm probably 9 episodes in of guest, but I'm very specific about what I feel like they can
bring. Very dialed in. Matthew has a question.
Who is Derek Jackson?
Derek Jackson.
He gives relationship advice.
He gives relationship advice. The girls love his message and his ethics. Okay. He a little full of shit.
He's a nice person. Like he's nice.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm closing this out.
I'm not trying to get Maui in trouble.
Right. Derek Jackson.
Jaxn.
Oh, the Jakes nigga.
Jakes.
I also had I don't know if y'all watched Too Hot
I forgot he spelled Jackson wrong and shit. Yeah.
Said Too Hot to Handle?
Yeah. On Netflix.
Oh, that's my shit.
Okay, so we had Nigel the other day.
Yeah.
He's one of the black people that got the
Yeah.
He was really a good guest. And Ajua Styles.
Okay.
Styles P. Wife.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite one.
Yeah, she's a super smart, grounded,
oh my God,
very self-aware woman.
So those are, it's other people too, but those are my 3 favorite because so much that people can learn about taking care of themselves or like decisions that they made before, like just so much accountability happened on 3 different type of personalities, 3 different type of people, and people are going to enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. Nigel was hilarious on Too Hot to Handle. Every episode he was a riot.
Like him being on the episode was like hilarious of him just saying like I wasn't attracted to nobody.
I'm just here.
Like it was literally the bit of him saying like I couldn't force being attracted to nobody if I'm not attracted to nobody. So that was really good too. So I want to thank y'all for having me on.
We appreciate you coming. We're going to clap it up one more time for you before you get out of here. Get y'all tickets to the tour, MauiTheWriter.com. Follow her on all social media. Y'all probably already following her, Maui _W. And, man, we love you. We appreciate everything that you're doing. You're so phenomenal, and we need you to come back after the tour.
I surely will to let y'all know how it went.
Yeah, definitely.
Who got on my nerves? Who was being a diva?
Y'all better act right. You know what I'm saying?
Act right. Please act right.
Realest podcast ever for Matt, Chad, and Big Dan. We out.